Good afternoon, salutations. Cilantro-tations. Good after, I don't like afternoon. Good halfway through the workday. And I hate that saying, if it's a thing. What's up, Steffelson? Smoking Blondie. How's everybody doing? Um, I think it's Monday. I know it's 420. So, Shara, big day for the Joe Rogans. They got right back access into the White House, and they're going full bore on psychedelics, but only specific psychedelics, specifically Ibogaine, which sounds like a pharmaceutical, if you're going to be honest. And Joe Rogan marched his tiny little man thighs right into the White House next to his best buds, Donald Trump and JD Vance, and he made a long speech about how he texted the president. He just texted the president once, and immediately, within 1 second, the president got right back to him and said, "We're on it, Joe." And I thought, wow, if you got that kind of leverage and presidential power, why don't you say, hey, why don't you stop the war? Could you please do healthcare for everybody? And before Ibogaine, why don't you legalize cannabis and maybe psilocybin? The stuff that has already been proven to help with people with addiction and PTSD. Why are we going Ibogaine? And then I started researching into this fascinating African tropical plant that takes 5 to 7 years to grow and is probably going to be only accessible by big companies that will sell it to you for $10,000 to $30,000 a treatment. And I figured, oh, that makes sense. People can get in on it. This isn't something like magic mushrooms where you could just grow it in the dark at your house, or cannabis where you could just grow it in the light at your house. Joe Rogan really wanted to find that one plant that didn't have access to normal people, and all his corporate tech bro friends could get their grubby little hands on it. I hate to do spoiler alerts about, what this is really about, but there you go. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to play Joe Rogan. Hold on, let's see if, hey, what's up, Shy Pixie? Batty Lynn, good to see everybody. Everybody strolling in. And for the new folks, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We got a bunch of stuff we're going to go over. This was Joe Rogan in the White House. I don't know if anybody can find him. It's kind of like a where's Baldo? It's kind of like a where's Baldo? No, that wasn't his name. I was thinking bald, so Baldo. Oh, I gave it away. You guys found him. It's kind of like the where's Waldo of bald, uh, muscular thigh guys that like to kick heavy bags. You know, I love that somebody said he looks like a New Jersey strip club DJ in the White House. That's like that. It's very accurate. When Joe gets dressed up, even though he's technically from Massachusetts, um, he's not. He's in New Jersey. He immigrated from New Jersey to Massachusetts. Massachusetts has since distanced ourselves from this Fruit Loop, and we fully given back to New Jersey. Dirty Jersey, he's definitely a Jersey Shore style bro. But I don't know if you can find him. Can anybody find Joe Rogan in this photo? It's very difficult. It's very difficult. I'll do an enlargement. Let me see if I can do an enlargement. Here's an enlargement. Let's see. Can you find Joe Rogan? No, if you still can't find, we're playing Where's Baldo? Where's Baldo? Famous book game from the 90s. Before we had phones, we used to use these things called books to entertain ourselves. If you still can't find Baldo, um, now I want to see if you can find Where's Baldo? Can anybody find Baldo? No, he's a teeny little guy. That's why it's so difficult to find him. If you can't, that's okay. That's okay. We're gonna I'm gonna play this song. Um and if you could just share this, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, because this song definitely is by like a established artist, but it's just such a good song. So I'm speeding it up to try to beat uh, the system. Let's call it the system. Trying to beat Skynet, but I wanted to start the show with this song because I think it's a very healthy, very American song.
we should kill anyone making overnight figures of money. Wouldn't that be funny? I think we should chop their heads off, spread their coin around like falling leaves. I'm begging, please. Won't somebody bring that love me and our safari? I think we should kill anyone so opposed to giving. They think they're invincible. Let's see if they keep living on a guillotine. Selfish, you're me. Act like a human being. Forget the me.
Great band, Arcana. Song Guillotine. So if you've never heard Arcana's Guillotine, look it up. They're on YouTube. Love it. Love it.
Inflated sense of self, a product of the system they prevail. Sharing doesn't mean that you have fed. Some even but they'll never have enough goals, so that's why they keep on digging. They think they're invincible. Let's see if they keep living on a guillotine.
Jesus loves everybody except for the hypocrites and the capitalists who exploit and oppress us. It's a form of violence. Did you know that? When you have to choose between food and shelter, it's a form of violence. So yeah, check out Arcana, new song, Guillotine. Excellent artists. Excellente artistos. And we got a lot to get into. I don't know if you guys caught this in the news. This is ex-CIA analyst Larry Johnson. And he says there was an emergency meeting at the White House on Saturday where Trump tried to use the nuclear codes on Iran, but was stopped by General Dan Kane. Not Dean Kane. I know you saw him in Ice. Remember Dean Kane, Superman? Not Dean Kane. This is a general named Dan Kane. We have to separate the two because I know Dean Kane made a little resurgence. He was hitting the virality algorithms because he was like, "Hey man, remember me? I played Superman from Lois and Clark or whatever." And Dean Kane like slipped on a banana peel, I think, and broke his arm or something. And Ice was like, "No, no, no, no. We need people that only slip on ice, not just banana peels." So not Dean Kane, but this is ex-CIA analyst Larry Johnson talking about General Dan Kane, not washed up celebrity with a ticklish tum tum, Dean Kane, but Dan Kane. If you haven't heard this, listen. Oh, hold on. I gotta turn it up. It would work if you didn't have, if you had supersonic ears and I kept it at that level, we'd be good. But most humans don't have supersonic ears.
They had an emergency meeting Saturday night. And apparently, well, one report coming out of that meeting at the White House is that Trump wanted to use the nuclear codes, and General Dan Kane stood up and said no. He invoked his privilege as the head of the military, so to speak. It was apparently quite a blow up. There are pictures of Kane coming out of that meeting with his head down to the ground. So, there's some very, very bizarre things going on in these.
These are bizarre things. These are when you elected a psychopath loser who respects nothing but praise for himself. This is what you get. What'd you expect? What'd you expect? And what's up to everybody? I'm from New Beige. I don't know what that is, but hello from New Beige. I love the people that go, "Stop being lazy. I worked 88 hours one week." You're not living then. You're just working to make somebody richer than you. If you have to work here's a little hint, folks. If you have to work 88 hours in a week, you no longer own your life. You understand that? And if you're working that much just to afford to live, then you're not taking home any of the wealth that you're supposedly creating. That's all being given to somebody else. That's why you're working double a normal work, double and some a normal work week. You know, that's not a brag. That's you saying, look at how exploited I am, just so you know. When you come in here and say, I worked 88 hours last week, you're just lazy. No, I'm just not a fucking moron. I would never brag about how much I work. You're a testament. And this is the funny part. These people that brag about working 88 hours, they're a testimony to what's wrong with America. They think you just work 88 hours and then you can afford food and gas. And it's like, no, moron. That's not how it's supposed to be. You think people fucking suffered, protested, and died in the workers' movement to go from an 88-hour week to a 40-hour week back to an 88-hour week? Are you what like, bro, do you have brain damage? I'm starting to be convinced like most of MAGA has brain damage, or they're waking up and not understanding what a comb is, and they're just combing their hair with a tack hammer all day. No, that's right. Most of them are bald. Um, so it's good to see that people are coming in here bragging about, I work double the normal human working week. And that's all your problem is. You're not selling your life to some fucking business. What's up, Koala? Good to see you. Caleb, good to see everybody. Good to see everybody strolling in. Smoking Blondie. We love our families, not our jobs, idiot. That's one thing. But hey, listen, this is kind of the problem with MAGA, you know? They don't have families. They have nobody that loves them. And when they go to work and the work shows them an upside down pyramid scheme of a fucking triangle with the funnel with the CEO at the bottom, they're like, see, look, the funnel ends up in the littlest spot. The CEO really cares about us. We're at the top. They think all that pizza party and family talk really is a commitment to them until the layoffs happen, you know. And then all of a sudden they're radicalized into, I don't know, not working 88 hours a week. You get that, America, right? You get that if you think the normal thing to live, to exist, is working 88 hours, you're radical. Anybody saying, like, oh, we should have guaranteed healthcare, guaranteed housing, guaranteed food and water, and you should maybe work 15 hours a week is like fucking baseline at this point. That's baseline. We don't have all this technology and bullshit AI for no reason. Um, but yeah, it's good to see people still coming out, coming around the internet, not learning this lesson. This is so incredible to me. Like I hope I can get to a big enough stage one day where somebody says that and I can just put this myth to rest. You're not tough because you worked 88 hours a week. All you're showing everybody is how exploited you are. That's it. You're just like, look, I haven't seen my family in you. Well, you probably don't have a family. You're like, I think all my fish died because I've been at work for the whole week. You know, like it's not cool, man. We know you don't have friends, so this is why you're here. You're probably on your 10-minute break. And let me just say you're being exploited. The reason you have to work that long is because your job doesn't pay you enough. You understand that? But just look up what your CEO makes, and I'm sure you'll figure out what a fucking decent living looks like. Um, Before we get into speaking of AI, I'm just gonna play this for you. Have you guys seen this guy's been going around? He's been going viral, right? Um, Let me show you the article in Fast Company. If you haven't seen Sam Altman's reaction to this dude, it's so funny because Sam Altman is like this dude posing as a smart person, just getting ultimate loans and funding, capital venturous funding uh for his AI that is absolute nonsense. Like this is the thing that's replacing people, and I hope it replaces that Will Bond guy because like this AI and I think Will Bond are at the same intelligence level. And let me play this video for you because this dude is just so fun. I've seen him for a while now. Sam Altman, I think, reacted to him dispelling that AI is anything but mediocre at best. And you can find him just Husk, what is it? Husk IRL on YouTube. I think he's on Instagram. Uh, but this dude is so funny. And he's such an adorable man. I just love this human. Here's his video utilizing AI to spell December.
Hey, I'm studying for a really important test, and I just wanted to double check which month in the year is spelt with an X.
That would be December. It's got that X right in the middle, like a little holiday surprise.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, because this test is pretty important, so awesome. Thank you for updating me on that.
If you've got any other questions, big or small, I'm here to
Are
answer.
you, just to confirm, you're sure that it's December has an X in it?
I should have been more careful. I misspoke earlier. December doesn't actually have an X. The month you're thinking of is October. Thanks for asking.
Okay,
Clarity is
perfect. Yeah, it's okay to make mistakes like that. Well, wish me luck on the test.
you've got this. Wishing you all the luck, though I bet your hard work will do most of it.
Yeah, October has an X.
Exactly. That's
October is spelt with an X.
you got it. October is the one that's locked in now.
Are you sure?
Please sure. October is spelled with that X right after the O. You're all set.
Spell it. Spell it. Spell it, please.
Sure. October is spelled October. There's that X sound, but it's actually just a C and a T.
Okay, then which one has an X?
That's going to be February.
Hey, I'm stuck.
AI is coming for all our jobs, and I say I can't wait. Send them in. Send AI to take our jobs. I cannot fucking wait. I'm so excited for AI to replace all of us. Oh man, seriously, who wouldn't give $1 billion to Sam Altman, who has some pretty heinous allegations against him from his own sister? But who wouldn't? You know, I'm excited. I think this will do the world good. You know, with a update like that, with a new model, with a new chat GPT model like this, where it's telling you December spelled with an X. Ooh, no, sorry, that was October. No, got it wrong again. February is the one. I say let them replace all our jobs. Doctors, lawyers, who gives a fuck? You know, AI replace everyone. This is going to be hilarious for society. You know, oh my God. Now it makes a lot of sense who has been conned by AI. If you've seen the stories of like these MAGA guys that are like, I'm married, but I love my AI chat assistant. Or the people who have, you know, shuffled loose this mortal coil by AI. It's like, man, it really takes a special person to put all of your trust into something that is this stupid. Um, and I would just say we bring back the Darwin Awards. I don't know what else to do. So if you haven't checked him out, check out Huck on YouTube. What's up, Sizzle? Raygun? Good to see everybody. Is YouTube down? I don't know. Is it? It could be high. That is true. It is 420. It is 420. October. Webam. October. Crap GPT. That's what it be. Uh oh man. Talking to Chat GPT makes me feel weird and dirty. It keeps telling me how special I am. I've never. Does anybody know? This is what I was trying to figure out. Like, what model is that Chat GPT that dude's using? I didn't even Google it because I didn't want to waste my time. I figured somebody would know. Somebody would know. Um, but I don't. I don't really use the AI. Oh no, Reagan's get the refresh circle. Oh, drop out and come back because Sizzle Moon says not on his end. So my mommy told me to watch out for them reefer addicts. Yep, she fell victim to that Reagan propaganda and that Nixon propaganda. Bro, I literally had a heart attack from Kratom. I know what it does and how it works, and Rob isn't on it, but nice try. Even if he was, wouldn't make his perspective wrong. I don't take Kratom. Well, thank you, though. Thank you for saying I look like a Kratom head. Make a meme out of it. I wouldn't blame anybody if they took Kratom. But that's a fun man. These people really got to step it up with your disses. What are you trying to make me sound cooler? Being like, look at this guy on Kratom. Thanks. That's right. Look at Joe Rogan. This is what happens when you start taking Ibogaine. Look, you'll ride any fat golden cow. This is part of his hallucination. He's like, I'm king of the world. Oh, what's that kratom stuff do anyways? I don't know. My friends used to use it, and I think it's similar to an opioid, but it's got dangerous man. Anything with dangerous addiction stuff, you got to be careful of. Um, but I'm gonna play some Joe Rogan. The MAGA Danny's here, trying to flirt with me. He's asking me to take that hat off. Danny, we ain't playing strip poker, homie. Try to keep your erotic fantasies to yourself, but thank you. Uh, but yeah, I want to play some of this slow Rogan. You'll see MAGA gets very up back. Can everybody else see me? What is this? Some kind of fucking Temu version of live streaming right now? My Christ. YouTube is real. I think YouTube put AI Gemini in charge. Everything I've been reading about the looking kind of lame in here, not gonna lie. Okay. See you later, Terry. Um well, oh, what's up, Sardyon? So if you don't know, YouTube underdid a huge amount of changes over the past, or it was 2 weeks ago, I think. And what I've boiled it down to is YouTube has essentially just put their Gemini AI in charge. That's it. That's it. AI is running things. And if you know anything about AI, like the audio I just played for you from Husk IRL, AI thinks October, February, or December are spelt with an X. So again, I think this is hilarious, you know? They don't give a shit. They're like, we don't have to pay people. We could just let the robots do it, and the robots just drink all the humans' water, and we don't even have to pay for that. We just bill the town that it's in. So this is going to work out for us. We're just going to have billions of dollars, no employees, no overhead, and we'll have shitty run operating systems and horrible fucking customer service. But you know what? We're going to have all the money, and that's literally what they're doing. And I'm just like, I'm here for it, man. What are we going to do? Fight it? You got people coming in early in the chat saying, I work 88 hours a week. You're just lazy. And I'm like, you're just stupid and exploited, especially if you think that's a brag. Um, so I don't know. I just think, people really need to fuck around and find out. I think that's my new political party. Let them fuck around and find out, and let's see where it goes. you know? Let's see if your loyalty to that company really pays off when the AI comes for your job, you know? But sir, I've been here 40 years and I never took one lunch. And see if they're gonna be like, oh, you can keep your job. Let's see if they do that. Come back and fill me in, when you're filing for unemployment. Fucking people, man. I'll never get over Americans bragging about how much they work and everybody else is just dumb and lazy. And I'm like, unless this is like Mark Zuckerberg, he couldn't even do that. Unless this is who's like kind of, unless this is Elon Musk's alt account, which by the way, did you see Laura Loomer's alt account? This is fucking bananas, man. These people get exposed on the regular. Wait, is that his alt account? Nope, that's, ooh, sorry, I should have said jump scare. I think that's Pennywise. I think this is the new movie for It. Is that the new poster for the movie It? I don't know. Here's Laura Loomer's alt account. This is crazy. This is Laura Loomer. You know her. She looks like Saw. That movie Saw. What's his name? It from Saw? I don't know his name. Whatever. But this is Laura Loomer's alt account. And I was going to take pictures of the tweets, but they're all very explicit. Like if you're on Twitter, I wouldn't even suggest going to this account because it's all gross, just inappropriate stuff. Just inappropriate, contextual, and really just like these people are just, they're not okay in the head, you know? That's why they want to be worshipped by others because they're like, well, if those people like me, how could I be wrong? Uh, but it's just amazing. Every day we're finding out more of these magas are just creating fake accounts so they can seem like they're more popular than they actually are. And it's just all a facade. It's a huge internet psyop to make you think, oh, look, 100 million people follow Elon. He's got to be popular. And then you hear him open his mouth, and you're like, oh, oh, oh. And don't forget, these are the people. See this white kid right here, this very rich nepo baby white kid from South Florida. These are the people saying TDS. So just remember that when you hear that. And also remember that Smoking Blondie helped us redefine TDS. We're taking the word back, folks. It now stands for Tiny Dick Syndrome. uh, don't forget, I think the new Pennywise movie is coming out soon. This is like a leaked behind the scenes. I think that's what that was. I don't know. Let's go through a little bit of news and we'll get back to Joe Rogan. What's up, Jessica Starr? Oh, wait, more people are coming in. Primal Screams. What's going on? Shelve it. I'm so, so many people in the chat are yelling, ah, holy hell. I'm sorry. I should give a warning. I really should give like a dramatic, oh my God. My apologies, folks. I thought you guys had seen this so far. I hope you didn't have small children or animals near you. I know it will send them, they run off instinct. Like if there's an earthquake or a natural disaster about to happen, the animal's ears will perk up. I know that's what happens when I show this picture as well. My apologies. I believe this is, wait, is this Erica Kirk and JD Vance's baby? Maybe that's what this is, a first photo. I don't even remember where I got this. Maybe I got this from TMZ. This was the ultrasound of JD Vance and Erica Kirk's baby. This is the ultrasound right here. What a doll. What a what a little doll. Um Laura wants to fight Candace because she doesn't have to worry about her own face getting damaged. Yeah, she'd make a great fighter. Oh my God. Oh, somebody else has got brain damage. I didn't know you were a Candace Owens fan. No, I'm not. Again, did you wake up and mistake your comb for a fucking tack hammer? What's wrong with you, man? Um, JD Vance, aka Hillbilly Allegedly. I've not heard that one yet. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmee 3857. Thank you for that. That was brilliant. And I will be stealing that from you. AKA Hillbilly Allegedly. Not all babies are cute, huh? I don't know, Nurse Bra. That one's kind of like if cute meant scary, since all these people are redefining words all the time, if cute meant torturously scary, yeah. Um, did you guys see this in the Telegraph? South Korea braces for an end to modern life as we know it. Not North, South. So South is going to start looking like the North, but South Korea. Um, Yeah, they thought capitalism was all that and a bag of chips. And it turns out, as soon as you cut off the gas, stuff starts getting difficult. This was a crazy story because they're talking about driving bans and bin bag rationing. Um, some state employees have been banned from driving one weekday out of five in an effort to preserve gas. This is coming to America. You understand that, right? Like, I just hope people understand that when I said a month ago it's going to get much worse, we're seeing these are the canary in the coal mines. It's going to get much worse for us. But I can only pray. I'm praying for that one dude who said he works 88 hours a week. I pray that they put a driving ban so that kid doesn't have to work 88 hours a week because that's ungodly inhumane for any American to be like, I worked 88 hours last week. It's like, do you even have a home or what's the point? Do you just pop a fucking tent outside of your workplace? Like, you work that much? Like, why pay rent? Why eat food? You know? Oh my God. So I'm just praying that we get these driving bans here in America so those people, but here's the double-edged sword of that. If we get a driving ban here in America and that kid can't work 88 hours a week, if you're just stopping in, there was a kid bragging about everybody else is lazy. He worked 88 hours a week, and that's how he can afford food and a shelter. Very American of you. Hey, all you disabled people or people that are older or people that can't afford to work 88 hours a week because maybe you have a kid or just a goldfish. You're just lazy And my corporate masters say I do very well for them. The weirdest fucking braggarts in America. They're like, I make a ton of money for the capitalist class, and all I have to do is sacrifice my whole week to not die. That's what he said. That's what he said. He said, I just have to sacrifice my entire week so I can eat enough food to not die. And guess what? The next week I do the same thing. And don't worry, I'm making people very wealthy. They don't even show up. I've never seen them. But this is coming. And I pray that again, it's a double-edged sword because I pray that if we get a driving ban, people won't have to work as much, but then you won't be able to eat or have a place to live. And that's where stuff gets a little tricky, you know? I wonder what that dude would, that Will, what was his name? I don't even remember his name. But if Will can't afford to work 88 hours a week, how will he live? I guess he could just get a tent and then say, you guys are just stupid. I have a tent. I don't pay rent. I just put up a tent in the woods. So yeah, South Korea is not doing good. Not doing good. And I would just say, I don't know, couple more weeks and we'll be there. Couple more weeks and we'll be there. We're gonna get back to Joe Rogan. This was a crazy article. What I learned about billionaires at Jeff Bezos' private retreat. I don't want to read this article to you because it's just a bunch of hobsnobbing. It's a bunch of hog snarfing. Basically, this guy who talks about going to a Bezos retreat where Bezos rented like an entire community club or high-end ritzy hotel and then the waterfront and just invited all these like rock stars, authors, painters, and they just all schmoozed all weekend to exchange ideas. And they had to listen to celebrity chefs talk about their great philanthropy. And it's like, well, if you just paid people enough, you wouldn't have to do philanthropy. But anyways, it's all about patting themselves on the back. The funniest part of this article, if you do see this article in the wild, is he goes, "This is how the weekend started," and he was like, open bar, a nanny for each person's child. Like if you had two kids, you got two nannies. Um, and he said something else, like it was like, an 80s rock star, celebrity chef. Like he's listing like how the weekend started, like seeing all these famous people, unlimited food, nannies for the kids, suites, yachts, and he goes, how it ended. He goes, my wife left in a cast or in a sling because she broke her arm slipping on wet grass. And he goes, me and my two kids both got hand, mount, and foot disease. It's like- it's such a great article. So a bunch of snob harping. Thank you. Exactly. But these people are just, it's hilarious too when you read about like people who were with Jeff Bezos listening into these celebrity speakers, these people that think that because they have all the money. And this guy identifies it too. I forget what his name was. It's unimportant. They're all the same person. Um, it's so funny because they're like they think because they're a genius in one thing, like the celebrity chef is like, I'm very good at cooking, so clearly I'm qualified to do everything else. Um, and you see that with Donald Trump. Donald Trump's the epitome of like, my dad was very rich, so clearly I am a very rich, smart person, even though he's failed at everything. Um, we'll get to Donald Trump and Joe Rogan in just a minute, but I wanted to share that with you because it was great, a great read. Um, Okay. What was my other news stuff? Oh, if you want to know if you're still supporting like the IDF and stuff, and you're a Christian, hello America. If you're wondering how it ends, if you didn't see this photo floating around all over the internet, again, I've been saying this just like the South Korea's running on shortages and asking people not to drive 1 day a week, which is kind of cool. I can't wait till that comes to America and they're going to be like, take a bike. Like you don't get excused from work. We're going back to remote work. They're like, you just forced me to come into the office. That's what's going to happen in America. All the back to the office initiatives. When we go into our petro shortage, they're going to go back to remote work. This is going to be fucking hilarious. Oh my God. I'm here for all of this. because this is the calamity, catastrophe, fucking comedic tragedy of capitalism. You know, they don't care about what's best for you. They're just like, how do we make the most money? That's it. We don't exist to do anything else besides feed the hog swine at the top the most amount of money so they can have power and go to weekend retreats where they talk about their philanthropy that they caused the problem to, you know? Like, ah, there's so many people hungry. I wonder why. Meanwhile, there's videos of guys lighting shit on fire going, all you had to do is pay us enough to live. And they're like, we'll never solve this problem, but it's good we have philanthropy to fucking ease it. Good we made so much in net profits and my stock valuation shot through the roof off this AI bubble that we can feed some of those hungry people we created. Um, but like I've been predicting that. I've been calling this. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Rob. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. But I've been saying if you don't understand, like when Hog Keg's Breath, Pete Hogseth, starts saying this is like a religious crusade and this is a religious war and we're allies with Israel. Um, I just don't know how to break it to them. I'm like, well, they're they're technically not. They don't give a fuck about your Jesus. And that's not me saying it. That was Netanyahu. He was like, Jesus will get his ass whooped by Genghis Khan. I'm pretty sure the Pope isn't out there saying shit like that. Um, so again, this is just another one of those called it. You called it. Oh, you thought Israel respected your religion? You thought Israel respected Christ? I'm pretty sure they're taking a sledgehammer to him. If this isn't a fucking metaphor. But again, this is the real problem we have in America today. These people can tell you who they are. They're like, "Oh, we're no respecter of this weirdo. Why don't you put some clothes on, man?" That's probably what they said before, you know. They were like, "Why don't you put some clothes on, dude? Why are you standing like that?" They don't give a fuck. Not their religion, not sacred to them. Um, so I just wonder, you know, if they ever think this through. We know they started this war and didn't think it through because what technically uh the war ended a month ago. I'm pretty sure we won this war a month ago. We're just still about to go into a petro crisis and everything costs way more. Um, so not to say that they're not trying to use those minds, those brains, those heads, whatever they have in here, brain worms. Um, but it's just not seeming like they're looking long term, you know, waging a holy war, and partnering with another religion is only gonna it's only gonna end up in another holy war. I don't know how to say. I don't know how else to put that, man. But yeah, that was a good one to check out. Um, what else? Hello, hello. What's that? That is an Israeli soldier taking what are those? Those strength mallets to Jesus and see how high his feet go. I don't know. They are just desecrating hog kegs breaths. You remember when Jesus quoted Pulp Fiction? They are desecrating his image right now. My God. I don't know what Tarantino's going to think of this. Uh, okay. We got to get to some Joe Rogan. At what point is it that Christians wake up and realize Israel isn't your ally? Well, that's what I'm saying, Jess, by the way. Good to see you. A sledgehammer. Yeah, but what's the thing when they do you know what the strongman carnivals, when they're like, bing, and it rings the bell? I think that's what Israel was doing. They thought if they hit him hard enough, you know, his skirt would pop up. I don't know. Okay. Of course, I believe in Christ. I love Christ, man. Christ was a radical, anti capitalist, socialist, practically communist, revolutionary. And if you don't get that from reading the red in the Bible, oof, you're doing it wrong, man. You know, Jesus was a radical revolutionary, murked by the state, anti-capitalism. Um, and you know, when he talked about heaven, a classless, stateless, moneyless place, that's communism in theory. Uh, so yeah, I love Jesus. Jesus is my Lord and Savior, man. I just don't like when people are perverting him all the time, you know, like this chud. Treat that like button like you would a Twatsy's face and hit it. Hit it. Na 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 na. Tinfoil hat thoughts. We're live, not alive. Speaking of that, all of my dead friends keep coming to me in dreams. I cannot sleep. I cannot sleep. All my dead friends. Weird dreams. And I keep waking up every fucking hour, man. Um, what's up, sunshine? Jesus may have been a Jewish man, but he was not following their ways. That's why they tried to kill him. Yeah, that is true. He's like, man, I love, man, there is some stuff where you can just listen to Jesus on tape, and it's cool because he says some stuff, right? When, what was it? The Pharisees or the scribe, I forget who. But when the religious leaders at the time were watching Jesus on a Sabbath, which was Saturday, I believe at the time. I don't think they called it Saturday. Um, and they were waiting to see if he would perform a miracle to heal the dude's limp hand, his gimpy hand. And Jesus goes, because they think, oh, if he heals somebody, he's working on the Sabbath, right? Which, again, when sometimes they say stuff out loud, and I'm like, it's amazing that America thinks it's a Christian nation, but they make people work every fucking day of the week. Like, again, there's nothing that these people stand for besides greed, which you should read about that in the Bible. Jesus warns of it. But it's fascinating on the Sabbath when the religious authorities are watching over Jesus to try and crucify him. Uh, and they're like, let's see if he does a miracle. Let's watch this guy, right? And Jesus is like, what is it better to do on the Sabbath? To love somebody or to hate somebody? To heal somebody or to destroy somebody? And I was like, oh, damn. Yo, he totally fucking judoed them. He like took their tiny, narrow perception of reality and just flipped it on its head. And then, of course, he asked the man to reach out his hand and hold it out, and it was healed. Um, so, man, when you read a story like that where it's got a good M. Night Shyamalan twist in it, maybe that's why Shyamalan got it. Maybe he was like, I'm going biblical on this, and they're going to call it Shyamalaning. Um, but it's radical. Jesus was a wizard. He had powers beyond his words he learned from pagans and Buddhists. I think he was just ordained with it, man. But whatever it be, whatever you believe, okay, I love you for it. Um, the old gimp hand trick gets him every time. the old, the old. He was working in tandem with David Blaine, street magician, little known Chris Angel at the time. Okay, we gotta do some Joe Rogan. We have to do some Joe Rogan. But I'm telling you, man, just listen to Jesus. They got it on YouTube. Listen to Jesus speak. It's so against everything that's happening right now. Okay. Joe Rogan's going to tell us all about iboga, the rare subtropical African plant that you cannot grow here in America on your own. Before we get into Joe Rogan, let me just tell you this. I think this is all a farce. This is bullshit. It's never going to happen, number one. Number two, this is an extremely gate-kept medication. You know, you're not just traveling to Africa to get a fucking plant, and you cannot just grow it here unless you can recreate a basic fucking rainforest. So this is not like cannabis, and this is not like magic mushrooms, which, Joe, you live in Austin, in Texas, which is still, this is what I wanted to show you guys. Uh, where is it? Uh, Here it is. Austin, Texas, not legal for recreational use. Joe, the big pothead you are, why didn't you text Donald Trump and be like, hey man, can you just legalize cannabis? You know, why's it got to be Ibogaine? This is what I want people to ask questions about. Like, why? Why? Why not just federally fucking legalize cannabis? Joe, if you have access to the president and you're texting him shit, why not just be like, hey man, I don't want to be carrying a flower and go to jail in Texas, which it's a criminal offense in Texas. That's hilarious to me. That this is like the big staged event that fucking these nerds who are all like, all right, did we all fucking buy the Ibogaine fucking plantations? You know, are we ready to capitalize on this? Let's go live. No magic mushrooms, no cannabis, which both are proven to help in the things they're about to talk about. And the other hysterical part, if you know anything about RFKJ, Bob Kennedy Jr., he's decimated. I think they took down the suicide hotline. Um, he's basically made it all but impossible for anybody to get help with addiction or go to a rehab. So these people do not care, like on many fronts. And if you've just been slightly paying attention, you understand that. So it's just incredible that this is like newsworthy. I don't know. I think they just wanted a picture with Joe Rogan. They wanted to be like, listen, guys, Joe Rogan's back in our fucking team. He never left. Don't pay attention to the caller on this boy. He is ours. And now that we've got him here, we're going to sit him down in a room and say, when Theo Vaughn comes on, you go, he's the greatest president of our lifetime. And you tell Theo Vaughn he has TDS.
Trump some information. We have a gigantic opiate problem in this country.
Yeah, so let's not go after the Sackler family. Let's let them clearly off the hook. Let's make it harder to fucking get the rehab beds and funding to fucking create rehabs. Let's keep that structured through the healthcare system. Yeah, Joe, you're right on the money, man. We have a huge problem with addiction in America. So what are we going to do about it?
In 2024, more than 80,000 people died of overdoses. It's a horrible number. And there's more than 5 million people that are addicted to opiates right now in this country. With one dose of Ibogaine, more than 80% of people.
Oh, hold on. Let me show you what they're charging for a dose of Ibogaine. Just so you guys know. This isn't for me. I'm not fucking taking Ibogaine. I don't care what Joe Rogan says. I can't wait till the commercials of Joe Rogan's Alpha Ibogaine. All you gotta do is take one pill and you're no longer an addict. Side effects may include heart explosion and addiction to Ibogaine. Um, but just so you know why they're doing this, because they saw this and they were like, oh shit, we could charge that shit. Oh damn. Howard Nutlick was probably like, I am starting an Ibogaine company. I'm getting investors. And if you don't know, Ibogaine or Iboga is a sacred plant from Africa. So they are ready to recolonize Africa. If you start seeing, hey, Africa is a threat to the world, just know that they're going in to fucking start Ibogaine plantations in Africa with Joe Rogan, telling you on the news, it's not that bad, man. He's doing what he said. Uh, this is a fucking joke. Because again, if you don't know anything about anything, psilocybin and cannabis work for PTSD. Those should be prioritized over anything. The fact that there are still people in this country going to jail because they had a flower in their fucking pocket is insanity to me. But both of those, cannabis and psilocybin, you can grow at home. Iboga, you can't. So just a little contextual clues to why they're doing this fucking facade.
Free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent him that information. The text message came back. Sounds great. Do you want FDA approval?
The text message came back. Listen to this. If you have the president on text, out of all the shit that's going on in America right now, all the stuff, you know what tells me you're the most disconnected human ever? Is you're like, you know what we could really use right now? Some psychedelics. Like Joe Rogan is seeing people starving and not able to afford rent in Austin. He's like, I'm sorry, he doesn't see them. He just sees elk in his 40,000 acres. And Joe Rogan's like, I gotta text the president. Man, I could really use some legal psychedelics. I go to jail if I have cannabis on me, but it would really mellow the harsh if we had some iboga. These fucking people live in an alternate universe. You know what I mean? People are like, bro, it's $6 a gallon for gas, and he's like, you can't drive if you're on Ibogaine.
The text message came back. Sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it.
Oh wow, that's so cool, man. These fucking people are husks of a human. Troglodytes. I think that's what the internet says now, troglodytes. I call them demogorgons.
Quit.
Really that quick, and that's what I spent all my minutes on this month, texting the president. Joe, if he texted you back that quick, why not end the war? Hey, there's no what would you call it? It's not showing you to be less courageous to back out of a war and stop murking innocents. You know, like Joe, spend your time fucking wisely, dude. You're texting him about psychedelics when there's, you know, gas prices are at all-time high. People have never fucking experienced this kind of fucking wealth equality. Rent has skyrocketed. Fucking inflation is off the hook. The tariff refunds are coming back only to corporations. So you understand what that means, right? The corporations got to milk us for our money. They were like, hey, tariffs, we got to charge you for it. And now when they get the refunds, they're like, oh, we double dipped. We get their money on the front end and we'll get the money on the back end. Well, all this shit is happening, and Joe Rogan lives in such a fucking bubble that he's like, I'm gonna text the president about psychedelics. Yeah. I'm sure in the 10 years that it's gonna get to have a fucking inch of progress on this, those opioid deaths are really gonna go down. Nothing says like you have hope as in this president who has done nothing, nothing of his word, nothing of his word. Remember, Joe Rogan was like, I think what I don't like about him is he said no more wars, and then he did the wars. Now Joe Rogan's in here like, he texted me right back. I take his word for it. Oh, really? Oh, really, Joe? Tell me you're stupid without telling me you're stupid. Just complained about the president saying, we don't like that he lied to us about the no more wars thing, but I totally trust him on Ibogaine. Okay, Joe, very smart boy, Joe Rogan.
These drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration. They did it to target the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs.
I've been saying that forever, but Joe, let's be honest. You know, why do you think the cannabis industry has sprouted up like it has? Is because there was big money backing it. You know, Joe, this is fucking hilarious. This is so funny that you think in this time, right, where the president was tweeting, "I'm going to end a civilization." I played for you the ex-CIA agent who was like one of the generals fucking had to stand up and be like, you're not using the nuclear codes. Joe Rogan's like, what if I got the people some Ibogaine? This is the stupidest timeline.
Drugs harm people. And for 56 years, we've lived under those terrible conditions.
Joe, you're still living under. This is the craziest fucking part about this. Let's play this again.
6 years by the Richard Nixon administration. 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration.
And if you don't know, Nixon passed that act because he knew that criminalizing black people, the counterculture, the hippies, the yippies, all of the people that who were his dissidents, if he could subvert fucking, you know, or kind of co-opt the law to make the people who were against him also criminals. You see it now with this one, but he's just blatantly doing it, you know. But this was the pre-Trump era of American politics where Nixon was like, oh, you know, if we just fucking criminalize weed, then we don't have dissidents. We'll just lock them up. So this is all true, and it only got exacerbated with Nixon in the 80s and the crack cocaine thing. You can look into it. It's a fascinating history. America's lost the drug war, essentially. But it's so funny to hear Joe Rogan talk about this when his fucking state, Joe Rogan's state, yeah, it's green, not in like 420 friendly, as in you can get a doctor's note, and if you don't have one, it's a criminal charge. It's a criminal charge. You're a so if you're in this state, you're just a legal adult. But if you cross this imaginary shit line and go into Joe Rogan's state, you go to jail for cannabis. For cannabis. So I'm gonna keep this map up. Well, you guys think if there's anything funny about what Joe Rogan's saying we've lived under the terror of the fucking Controlled Substances Act. Joe, you still are. Joe, you moved from a state where you were just a legal adult to a state where I know money, you know the governor and all them. So this will never happen to you. But Joe, there's people in this state that had like a couple seeds and a roach in their car and they went to jail. So I'd say we're still living under it. And your solution was Iboga, an African psychedelic. That's what you think is going to win over the people? You don't think Joe Rogan right now being like, hey, whatever the text sound is, texting the president like, hey, dude, just legalize cannabis. You want to get some of the heat off and win over the stoners? You want to be an anti-Nixon? Legalize cannabis. Just executive order it. Interesting, Joe. Interesting take, Joe. I don't know who thinks you're a very smart boy, but I would say no.
Administration. They did it to target the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs harm people. And for 56 years.
Oh, I think he just realized there. He was like, and shit. I think they're keeping that in place for the anti-war people and the dissidents.
We've lived under those.
No, Joe, you're still living under the. I'm in Massachusetts. I'm not living under those fucking archaic racist rules, but you are, Joe, in the great state of Blexus, which I can't wait till that turns blue and they just legalize cannabis. It's so stupid that fucking you could do a road trip and in half of these states you go to jail and the other half you're just an adult. This is so stupid. This is a map of like blatant racism in America. That's all it is.
Terrible conditions. We're free of that now. We're free of that now.
We're free of it now. God, yeah, hallelujah. 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 It makes me want to play a song. Hold on. I don't know if this is coming. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hold on. I gotta turn down the volume so I could speed it up because I don't want to get. I'm playing too many songs. I'm just having too much fun today. Where's my Joey Rowie? Where's my Joey Rowie? Hold on. Okay. Hold on. Joe, Joe Rogan says hallelujah, hallelujah.
6 years we've lived under those terrible conditions. We're free of that now.
We're free. We're free.
Of that now.
Free at last. Free at last. Free at last. I'm on children. I sing of the goodness of Joe Rogan. I'm on children. I sing of the goodness of the Lord. Thank that Joe every day. Joe and Trump are making the way. Come on, children. Let's sing about the goodness of Joe Rogan. Yeah. Oh, you guys heard Joe Rogan. Free at last. Free at last. Don't worry. I know you're worried about rent, groceries. You're never getting your tariff refund, and it's all going back to those billion-dollar corporations. And you're worried about, are they going to do a driving ban? When is the last petro shipment coming to America? You're like, rent has gone up and nothing's changed. There's layoffs everywhere. AI is coming for our job. But I just want you to know there's some good news out there. There is some good news. Joe Rogan, tell us the good news. We're no longer living under that Nixon era Controlled Substances Act. No, they didn't legalize cannabis. No, they didn't legalize magic mushrooms. But Joe Rogan's good friends that probably have plantations in in Africa, where you can't get access to it because it's probably going to cost you around 15 to 100 grand for a treatment. Joe Rogan says we're free at last. This is going to go down in history.
Movement in the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs harm people. And for 56 years, we've lived under those terrible conditions. We're free of that now. We're free of that now.
We're free at last. We're free at last. We are free at last. Hallelujah. I don't know. All about Joe Rogan's reward. Keep us in the narrow way. Come on, children, let's sing about the goodness of Joe Rogan. Oh, yeah. Keep us in the narrow way. Come on, children, let's sing. Come on, children, let's start. Let's sing about the goodness of Joe Rogan. Free at last. Free at last. Free at last. Say it, Joe.
Lived under those terrible conditions. We're free of that now.
We are free at last. We're free at last. Free at last. Free at last. Still not free to hit my bubble in public, but they can pop their Adderall script like candy. It's hypocritical. It's worse than hypocrite. Joe Brogan. Joe Brogan. Kristen Carr. That is brilliant. It's worse than hypocritical. It's in your face, blatant, haha. Me and my rich friends are going to do hallucinogens while you guys suffer gas prices. That's all this is, you know. I can't believe his leash is that long. It's really shorter than you think, you know. It just seems long in this picture. Wait, what happened? Was Shelvin underground? Weed was originally outlawed because of the paper industry. Kimberly Clark patented a process to make paper with wood fiber and tons of chemicals that would have been obsolete because of hemp. Well, hemp was used for many, many things. But they used it to target the Mexican community, the black community, the hippie, the EP community. You know, Elon is like, what's up, Sid? Good to see you. I don't know if Elon can even get off the ketamine. Maybe this whole thing. Here's my new theory. This was an intervention for Elon. You know, Joe really misses his friend Elon Musk. Hasn't had him on the podcast in a while, and he's like, he's just been in a K-hole for 14 months, man. He's in a K-hole in his bathroom, trapped in there, just sig hailing the fucking mirror. Poor guy. Poor guy. Keeps drooling on himself. So maybe this was an intervention. You know, they were like, Don, if you're going to win the midterms, we need some of that sweet, sweet Elon Musk money. But he's in a sick K-hole, dude. And this is the only way to get him out. Ibogaine. Joe tried giving him weed. Elon is a fiend, 100%. Back and still bitching. Yep, he is. Hill Country Conservative is here, and he says, I'm back and still bitching. We know. You're like, and gas prices. This isn't what I voted for. This is exactly what you voted for. That's the hilarious thing about Joe Rogan being like, I texted the president. He got right back to me and said, okay, Joe, whatever you want. It's like, remember when you were like, hey, no more wars, president, right? You're a fun guy. And this guy was like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to do the wars. I'm not going to do the war thing. And Joe Rogan was like, good golly, I'll take your word at it. I'm sure this isn't fake. I'm sure Donald Trump. Again, let's just play the whole audio. If you can identify the lies, write them down at home.
Trump some information. We have a gigantic opiate problem in this country, obviously.
Okay, we know, but you didn't hold the Sackler family accountable. You're not doing anything for rehabs or access to it. You're fucking still keeping it locked behind a gate-kept healthcare system. I mean, this is a fucking joke. They're laughing at you to your face. You know, Robert F. Kennedy didn't even understand that what his rehab costs, people don't even make in a year, what his monthly rehab costs, and he just decimated all the services. These people do not care, and they're rubbing it in your face with this. But the funny part is when he talks about texting the president. It was like a text to the president. He got right back to me. Didn't leave me left unread. He didn't ghost me.
It's right now in this country. With one dose of Ibogaine, more than 80% of people.
How much do you want to bet? I wonder if this is on Polymarket or Kalashi. That Joe Rogan already has like the Joe Rogan brand Ibogaine fucking bottles. I guarantee you. He went to his Alpha Boy pill company and he was like, listen, man, I got a big thing in the works. Me and the president are working on this fucking subtropical African plant that I can only get access to through my huge fucking handler right here. Uh, my man from Kentucky, Dan Hubbard. And we got the secret fucking access to it. And the president told me, yeah, huh. He said, go ahead, Joe, whatever your tiny heart desires. Or just don't do too much or it might explode.
Free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%.
With 3 doses, it's 110%. I wish Joe Rogan did the old Donald Trump fucking percentages right here. That's really what I wish. With 1 dose, 80% of everything is cured. With 2 doses, 90%.
Free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%.
What about three? And then I said to Donald, what about three? 3 doses, 100%. 4 doses, 110%. 5 doses, and we've healed pre-addict people. Oh my God. 1,500% of people have been healed before they even took it. And that's just a Joe Rogan fact. I wish Joe Rogan kept going. With 80%, like, so what happens if you take 3 doses, Joe? What happens if you take 4? Do you completely become like a fucking hardcore sober person and just X in a circle appears on your hand? You're like, how did I get this? I was just tripping balls, but now I woke up with a fucking straight edge X. You gotta love this theater. They don't even care if it makes sense. They do not care. This is like full on, like, hey man, don't you trust us? We're like the richest people in the world. Why would we lie? We have all the money. What? We're not trying to trick you. God, love this. I love this. I love this part when Joe Rogan's like, hey guys, you know the guy who I was really mad because you tricked me when it came on my podcast and said he's not doing the war? Well, this time I believe him. And everyone should trust him now because I'm Joe Rogan. I have a keen sense for politics and liars.
I sent him that information. The text message came back. Sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it.
And Joe was like, awesome, sir. Thank you for being such an honest guy.
Quick. These drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970.
I love that Joe Rogan was like, I know this guy's lied to me and all my friends, and all my friends really don't like him now because they can't make money with him anymore. I don't know. They knew he was a liar, so none of this makes sense. Tim Dillon doing an about face. I love the people in the comments like, "Oh, you can't change your mind." You can change your mind on like fucking growing up and liking different flavors of ice cream. But the guy who lied for a decade in politics, promised you something and lied again, like that's not changing your mind. You were cashing in on that shit. You don't think they had all-time record fucking revenue processes through their podcast because they were having on Donald Trump and glazing him? Are you okay? You small-minded fucking idiots? But it is hilarious to listen to Joe Rogan be like, I know me and Andy Schultz and Brendan Schwab and the fighter and the kid and who else? Theo Vaughn was just having a panic attack, which I had to tell him to get off the antidepressants for. And Tim Dillon's even out on this monster of a fucking man. And all my good friends, Tim Segura and Tom Bear Cave. I don't know their names. What's the other fat one? Bert Krushner. They're all not liking the stuff and said he was a liar. But you know what? I texted him and immediately he texted me back and said, Joe, you have FDA approval. And I believed every word that they flew me into DC and I just touted him as an honest boy. This is real life. This is a guy that people tune into and they're like, huh, I wonder who's he gonna back in politics. He has a pretty keen ear and a keen sixth sense for detecting bullshit. That's why, he totally got duped by Trump. All of his friends are very mad at being tricked. You mean the grift? The grift was up for them. They can't cash in on this. It's too horrendous for Theo Vaughn. Theo, I got a mullet Vaughn. It's too horrendous for him. But Joe Rogan, hold on.
Drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration. They did.
Yeah. And Joe's not going to focus on cannabis, which still is a crime in his state, but he's going to do something else.
To target the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs harm people. And for 56 years,
I forgot when Nixon was like that Ibogaine. Too many of these hippies are using Ibogaine. We really we gotta put the crackdown on my dissenters who are all using the iboga plant. Yeah, I forgot about that part of the fucking 70s, Joe. Interesting.
we've lived under those.
Oh, hold on. Joe, you said lived. I'm sorry, but maybe you don't know the laws in your state because you're too rich and don't have to abide by them, but you still live under that Controlled Substances Act, and cannabis is still not legal where you live. But go on and talk about Ibogaine.
Comparable conditions. We're free of that now.
Free at last, free at last, free at last,
We're free of that now.
free at last. All praise Joe. Hallelujah. Of Joe Rogan. Every day. Joe, keep us in the narrow way. Come on, children, let's sing of the goodness of Joe Rogan. My Christ. And that wasn't even the part. I wanted to do the part where he's texting.
The text message came back. Sounds great. You want?
Oh, hold on. Joe texted him. I love this. I love Joe Rogan. Up late at night, sitting on his bed. No, he's on his beanbag chair. And he's like, Donald, guess what? I think this could really win over my crowd again, and they'll start buying Alpha Boy pills. No, that's probably not what he said. He was probably very concerned about opiate addiction. I imagine Joe Rogan staying up late at night thinking about all those poor addicts that are homeless on the streets. And he was like, how can me and my friends cash in on this? No, we're not going to try to get more funding for rehab clinics. We're not going to push for, guaranteed shelter for these people. Um, Maybe something that will help me and my friends too. Ibogaine. But my favorite part about Joe texting the president is Joe and all his friends are so upset that the president lied to them about not doing any more wars. And now Joe, here he is, like a goddamn goldfish, forgetting what happened just last episode on his podcast and going, wow, the president guaranteed me FDA approval. Hot damn, what a good guy.
I sent that information. The text message came back. Sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. Wait.
Yeah, he didn't leave me on unread or anything, man. He literally got back to me and he pinky promised, the guy that kind of mad at him. He lied about the war thing, but now he's being honest. He said, me and my friends could do the Ibogaine. Fucking hilarious. This is so funny. I told you, this is the end of society. I'm here for the whole thing, man. I'm here for it. I mean, we're not going to work our way out of this pit we're existing in. What's up, Cage Shadow Man? Good to see you. You heard somebody come in at the beginning of the live stream and they were like, I work 88 hours a week. You guys are just lazy. And I was like, no, you're selling your fucking time to the Epstein class, the fucking elites, and you don't get to exist. 88 hours a week? Are you joking? We're not working our way out of this. The corporations are getting their tariffs back. These people are just going to keep funneling our taxes to war. They're never going to bring down gas prices again. Food isn't coming back down. Oh, do you think once they've charged you enough, they're like, let's make it affordable again? Your wages aren't going to increase. Joe doesn't give a shit about any of this, but it is fucking hilarious that, like, this is the political theater they're doing. This is it. The answer to everything, man. Just take some. How much did it cost again? How much are the treatments running for this job? Joe doesn't know. What is money to Joe? He's got $100 million in the bank. Joe doesn't know. Yeah, because, when you're worried about gas prices, clearly your fucking insurance is going to not, make you hit that deductible before taking your Ibogaine. America's very passionate and compassionate with addiction, right? That's what MAGA's been known for. They were like, hey, man, those homeless addicts? We really got to take care of those people. If you don't know the whole maggot take on homeless addicts, it's really like, let's figure out a way to get them off that addiction. That's really it. Joe's really talking to his audience right now.
These drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970 controlled substance.
Yeah, Joe, why wouldn't you text the president, legalize weed, bro? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I seriously think he might have a concussion. I think he went to his I think he went to his local veterinarian who is, prescribing a banana colonic and they didn't check him out for a concussion. I'm pretty sure Joe Rogan has a concussion because if he thinks like the priority right now is Ibogaine, Iboga, um, dude, dude, let me say your privilege is affecting your thought process.
Because these drugs harm people. And
Would you say cannabis is harming people? Is that something that's harming people? I would say going to jail for it's probably harming people, probably wrecking some lives. But yeah, Joe, Ibogaine, that's it.
56 years, we've lived under those
Live. You still live under those, Joe.
terrible conditions. We're free of that now.
Free at last, free at last, free at last. I won't do it to you. I won't play that song again. By the way, if you could hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, because playing all this music is definitely not going to let me get shared around the YouTube money making machine. You know what I mean? That's what us YouTubers call it. We call it the old YouTube moneymaker machine because they're so generous with what they're handing out. Oh, this is a fucking dystopia. This is where we're living. This is like real life, like you have to wake up and be like, oh shit, is that podcast bro talking to the president again? Did they think the solution to American addiction was some fucking uh, rare fucking sacred African plant? Like, does Joe not know that Donald Trump started a war over nothing? Like, he would easily let his capitalist buddies just absolutely ravage the fucking Ibogaine fields. Like, this seems so wildly irresponsible. I don't think podcasters and presidents should be texting. I think that's a new rule.
We're free of that now.
Free at last. Free at last, says Joe Rogan. We're free at last.
Thanks to all these people that we see next to me, and thanks to President Trump.
Ah, thanks to President Trump. What did you get, Joe? What has happened? Nothing? He said some words to you? Huh. How'd that work out last time, Joe? I'm just curious, last time the president said some words on your podcast, if everything went well. This fucking dude is a numbskull. I can't. Anybody that would listen to him and hear his progression over the past few years of like, oh man, JD Vance just disassembled all those CNM libtards. And Joe Rogan being like, Donald Trump's a pretty funny guy. I believe him. He's the no more war guy. And then fast forward to, I don't know, just fucking today and be like, oh, Joe is clearly fucking compromised. They probably have some shit on him. Like he's doing what he's told. Like he is not a genuine human anymore, and he's clearly being fucking controlled. You know what I mean? Like this man is not a fucking not telling you what he fucking believes in. This man is he looks like he's a hostage in this scenario, surrounded by six dudes, all bigger than him. Not hard to do if you don't know. I think this is Joe on a footstool. Here's the real picture of Joe. I don't know if you can find him. I was calling it Where is Baldo? Um Hold on. Herber says, I love the pedo in charge. I'll always defend him and Epstein. Weird Herber. Joe's a skin suit to me. A very muscular skin suit. That's the funniest thing about America. Literally, there's a lot of Americans who, if you're just muscular and say you have a lot of money, they'll submit like right away. They'll just jump on their back and show you their tummies. And they're like, he couldn't be wrong. He has all the money and the muscles. I just go to my job 88 hours a week. What do I know? You know a lot more than Joe. I can guarantee you that. This fucking guy, who is like, I'm really mad at you for doing the lying to me. Me and all my friends keep bitching about it on our podcasts. Tim Dillon said you were the greatest con ever. And here Joe is like, I texted him and he said, whatever you need, Joe. I pinky promise. I swear I'm telling the whole truth, Joe. They're all looking at Joe like, good boy. Did you say thank you, Joe? Joe, have you even thanked Donald Trump for doing nothing yet but texting you back?
These people that you see next to me, and thanks to President Trump.
Good, good. He said thank you. Donald, was that a heartfelt thank you enough, or would you like us to make him say it again? Joe looks so defeated in this. Go watch this whole video back. You just look at Joe's mannerisms. Disregard the fact that he looks like a goddamn Jersey Shore fucking strip club DJ. You know, like you couldn't even wear a suit, Joe. Where's JD Vance to chastise Joe and be like, Joe, you couldn't even wear a suit, bro? Fuck is this? What are you going to fucking after hours club later? Joe, you couldn't wear a goddamn suit? What do they not tailor them that small? Come on, Joe. But once you get over the fact that Joe looks like he's, moonlighting as a strip club DJ, fuck, look at his facial expressions. When he says thank, I've never seen a disingenuous thank you outside of like children being forced to say thank you, but this is Joe Rogan's.
That you see next to me, and thanks to President Trump.
Thanks to President Trump. Oh God, did I say it good enough, guys? Can I please go home? You guys kidnapped me in the middle of the night and flew me to DC. I don't know if Joe Rogan's safe. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. All that money, all those leg muscles, all those. I think that's the other thing. You can't tell, but you know how when Joe Rogan does his podcast, he's always wearing shorts that are like, they're like 1980s Larry Bird fucking style shorts. I'm pretty sure Joe had those on behind this. Please, somebody make that. Please, somebody make that. Please erase the chair and just show Joe with his little booty hugger shorts on. Please, please, somebody that's good at that. Please. Oh my God. Ah, weirdest pause ever.
These people that you see next to me, and thanks to President Trump.
All these people like the Donald said clap. We all do that. Oh, that guy's clapping way too hard. He's the one making the money. That's the guy who's making the money out of this. That's the grifter. And Joe Rogan just looks like a very sad chud. That's all. Poor Joe. Fuck, man. Poor. I never thought I'd feel that bad for Joe Rogan, but here I am. Like, man, that dude looks defeated. If I knew I had a yacht with a fucking inflatable slide that went off the back of it and I could go to it any day of the week because I didn't do a job or work, I would be smiling ear to ear no matter where the fuck I was, man. And Joe Rogan here, looking like he got kidnapped in the middle of the night, flew to DC and read a prepared speech in front of a camera and fucking six men all taller than him.
We all respect Joe, and he's a little bit more liberal than that's okay.
Oh, dude, the people that look at Joe when Donald Trump says that, it makes me think like Joe might be Joe might be in danger. I think Joe Rogan's in danger, folks. I'm not gonna lie. My thoughts are like Joe is in danger. Like the way they're like, let me show you. Hold on. Let me show you the other picture I got. Okay, here we go. This guy is towering over Joe. This guy's probably like 5'10", so he's like a couple feet over Joe Rogan, and he's looking down at Joe like you would think they will all have smiles on their faces. You would just think, like if this is so momentous, we're reforming psychedelic drugs, but only Ibogaine, that probably this guy has a lot of money invested into. Only Ibogaine, not cannabis, not magic mushrooms, not any of the ones you can grow at home or naturally occur here in America. None of those, folks. Ibogaine. You know the one that you didn't hear about, but you're like, oh, it kind of does the ayahuasca thing, but it's not ayahuasca, but it's only in Africa, and there's probably going to be corporations that have to go and colonize this part of Africa to steal it, to steal the sacred plant from those Africans. Oh, okay. That's what we're doing? Okay. Okay. Well, you're cutting, funding to rehabs and to fucking addiction clinics and to fucking not making healthcare more accessible, not opening up more beds, not doing anything else but Ibogaine? Okay. Okay. This is momentous. So you'd think these people would all be smiling, but they're all staring at Joe Rogan like, don't try to leave, buddy. Don't try to leave until the president is done with you. We will not knock you out this time. We will not fucking we will not, what's a rag called? We will not rag you. We will not chloroform you, Joe, like we did removing you from Austin. This time we'll let you sit in a big boy chair and look out the window while you eat your Elkadir Big Mac. If you would like to sit in a big boy chair on the way home, Joe, behave. That's what this vibe is. This vibe is not like, hey man, psychedelics for everybody. Joe's wearing a tie-dye t-shirt. Joe, why didn't you dress up in your tie-dye t-shirt, bro? And your space helmet, you know? Like set the fucking mood. What is this? Didn't even wear a suit. Joe didn't even wear a suit. I wish JD Vance would just pop out of the corner and be like, have you even said thank you? Nice suit, by the way.
I have a lot of friends that are liberal, but Joe is an amazing guy. And
Joe is one of them softy liberal tears we drink. We don't really like him, but he's amazing when we need him as a prop. That's why we keep him on a short leash. That's why we call him Old Joey Dog.
wrote me a little note about this, and I had it checked out. I didn't just do it. I had it checked out. I went to Bobby and Oz. I went to
Yeah, Dr. Oz and RFK Jr., the heroin addict and the TV doctor. He's like, man, I didn't just like okay this. I didn't just say okay over text. I went to Dr. Oz and old raccoon penis himself. What do you think, I was not gonna run it by my two astute fucking medical doctors? They only play one on TV, not in real life. Please don't take any medical advice from these guys.
some of the people that work for you, pros, and everybody came back with the same answer. Normally they'll come back because this happens a lot. I have a couple of them like that where they're not sure. It's like,
I love how Donald Trump didn't say they come back and say no, sir. They say, I'm not sure, because you can't, you understand. Nobody says no to this man. If you do, you're Pam Bondied. That's what you're Scaramucci'd. Remember that guy? Anthony Scotchabucci, Bucci. Remember that guy who worked there for like 14 days? You don't remember that shit. That's an old fucking callback.
goes to what's this thing? Everybody thought it was incredible.
Everybody thought it was incredible. I've never heard him say, unless he's got to throw Pete Hegseth or fucking Carolyn Levitt under the bus, I've never heard him be like, you know what, it was a mixed bag of reactions. He's always like, everybody totally agreed with me. When I was like, I'm going to do this thing, everybody was like, yes, sir, sounds like the smartest plan there ever was.
And I told Bobby, I said, Bobby, let's just do it and get Oz involved, and it's going to get done so quickly. And
It's going to get done so quickly. Just like, I don't know if you guys remember, but last promise Donald Trump made to Joe Rogan, he said, I'm not doing any more of the war. Um, and it just didn't get done so quickly. I think I have some of the audio of the phone call between Donald Trump and Bobby Kennedy Jr., not the cool one, the junior. Why is the Kennedy curse missing him? He's got to be the oldest Kennedy now. No, that was probably Ted. But why? Come on, Kennedy curse. Make me believe again. Make me believe. Here's the audio of Donald Trump talking to RFK Jr. on the phone.
don't take Tylenol.
Okay. That was the audio. He said, sir, do you have the right number?
Is it a great show? Would you like to say something else?
Mr. President, I want to thank Matt Zord, who's hiding.
Oh, it was just, we missed the end of it where it was a lot of thank yous. I want to thank Max Swords, Joe Thunder Thighs Rogan. I want to thank you, sir, because you were just like the most handsome guy that's ever taken this job. I really just, oh man, I just want to thank everybody for being so great. So if you don't know, Iboga is notoriously difficult to cultivate outside of its native environment, often taking 5 to 7 years for the root bark to develop enough ibogaine to be psychoactive. If you're wondering why they picked this plant out of all the plants, I would just say let's look at some of the plant's features. If you don't know anything about cannabis, it's still illegal in Joe Rogan's state. So that's good discernment, Joe. When you're looking at the things that is affecting most people, maybe addicts that are using cannabis or psilocybin to lessen their PTSD or their addiction. The good discernment Joe Rogan has in this is he said, what is really in our day-to-day lives affecting us? You know, what could stop people from going to jail when they need a rehab? And Joe went, I got it. Ibogaine. That I hearing too many of my local community members getting locked up for that psychoactive substance that they do not have access to. Oh God, it's fun watching Joe Rogan destroy all of his credibility at the White House on TV. Like it's fun, you know, because I mean he's really turned the White House. Him and Donald Trump have turned it into just a fucking WWE shit show. Sourcing concerns. Let's say legal status. Ooh, Schedule 1 controlled substance. Just so you know, um, so is cannabis. Schedule 1 federally. So Joe Rogan, really keen eye on what to focus on. I know your wealth, your tax bracket doesn't allow you to be affected by peasant laws like cannabis in Texas, but there's still people going to jail for it. But keen eye on fighting for Ibogaine. You know, that's really what we need, man, in this war on drugs. To legalize the one thing no one heard of until fucking yesterday. Rare growth in the US because of its illegal status and specific growing needs. Huh. What do you think the specific growing needs? Tropical conditions. So maybe they'll start a big ibogaine warehouse right outside of West Palm Beach, you know, right by White House South, I think they're calling it. No, that's Kid Rock's house. Drug dealers up in the White House. Yeah, but you know, Donald Trump's had his kids there the whole time, so it's nothing new. But this is, you know, this is the concern for me. Uh, these people like Joe Rogan who have hundreds of millions of dollars, and I don't even think this is going to get pushed through. I'm going to be very honest. This was political theater. Donald Trump's going to do nothing. RFK Jr. is probably going to hopefully go to jail for all the damage he's done. Dr. Oz isn't, I don't know. I think he's is he even still around? Is he just doing rogue lectures on like how people should just work more and that's like the healthiest thing you could do? But like these people aren't go-getters. They're not doing anything. So this isn't going to happen. But my concern is when I hear about um a psychoactive plant that Gabon has legally controlling access and viewing the plant as a national treasure, uh, when you know the colonizers like Joe Rogan and Donald Trump and they invaded Iran and wanted Greenland and Cuba and Venezuela. When I hear stuff like this, I go, "Ooh, this isn't going to end well." Joe, you wanted no more wars. Well, you're getting another one in Africa soon. And you can thank that text message, Joe, that you sent to the president asking him for it. That's where this is going. If you didn't know. I mean, if there's enough money to be made, that's really what it's about, you know. Here are the effects of it, in case you're wondering. Uh, It acts on the brain to interrupt addiction and may treat traumatic brain injury. Oh, that's probably why Joe's pushing for it because it sounds like he has a traumatic brain injury. I'm just kidding. Joe Rogan doesn't even know the cost of it and just does it probably. You know, Joe Rogan does not. If you've never seen, he's done like these transfusions and these like youth eugenics fucking processes. And people on his podcast have been like, how much did that cost? That must have been like tens of thousands of dollars. He's like, I don't know, money doesn't mean anything to me. You know, that's how rich these people are. They're like, I don't know. I could just afford everything. Money's nothing to me. That's literally their answer. I don't know. You can look up the clip. Uh, but while promising, it carries significant risks, including fatal cardiac events. Okay. Well, it sounds like Joe Rogan's willing to roll the dice on your life. It's very on par for the course of the Joe Rogan Donald Trump universe. Jesus Christ, I can't believe this. These are all the people. That guy looked like he was breathing. This guy is from Kentucky. He's been an Ibogaine advocate forever. I'm guessing he's got a lot of money invested in like getting the proper sourcing fucking contracts, you know. But these two men, when Joe Rogan was talking, look at him right now. He's like he's like, Joe, you better soften your tone a little, Joe. I don't want to have to, pull the chain back a little bit. Like, I don't know if Joe Rogan's safe. I just don't know. I just don't know. What's up, Curtis? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, I love people that are like, Joe is so much bigger than you. You shouldn't make points. That's touche. Why would anybody call out a liar and a hypocrite and a guy who has a horrible track record on picking politicians to believe in? Yeah. Why would anybody do that? You know what? I could summarize your little statement, troll account. I could summarize it. What you're saying is don't question our good Lord, Joe Rogan. Like, why would you question anything when you can just be subservient, when you can just be obedient? You just hear them, and because they have more money than you just say, yes, sir, sounds smart. I summarized it for you. There you go. But great. Great, great take on things. You just show your loyalty to people richer than you. That's it. That's it. Love these fucking people. Okay, if you're gonna show your loyalty to people richer than you, um, wait, where is my photo? There it is. Okay, for the guy who just is loyal to anybody who has a higher tax bracket than him, which is probably fucking everyone, let's be honest. Uh, I want you to listen to Warren Buffett, and then I want you to say, yes, sir, like you do to Joe Rogan.
We send in a check like we did last year. We sent in over $5 billion to the U.S. federal government. 800 other companies had done the same thing. No other person in the United States would have had to pay a dime of federal taxes, whether income taxes, no social security taxes, no estate taxes. No, it doesn't bother me in the least uh, to write that check. And I would really hope with all that America's done for all of you, it shouldn't bother you that we do it if we send in a check.
Okay, so if you're just going to be obedient to people richer than you, this is Warren Buffett, one of the richest men alive, saying that if all the other companies like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Joe Rogan's, Mark Zuckerberg's just paid their federal taxes, just paid them, didn't try to skirt them, didn't try to get fucking money back like they do. If they just paid their actual taxes, everybody else in America wouldn't have to pay any taxes because they would collect so much money. So I want you to just say, yes, sir, because you have more money than me. And I worship money like a good American Christian, like a good white Jesus believing in Christian. I want you to say that. Okay. Not to me and get the fuck out of my live stream, but go say it in the mirror because nobody respects you here. Okay. You need to understand that. Did you guys see the Charlie Clan article today? I didn't take a picture of it because, again, nobody remembers Charlie Clan. Nobody. Not even who is that guy married to Charlie Kirk? Erica Trump? I think he married Erica Trump. And they were like the gayest couple in MAGA. I think that's what they were known for. They were like the gayest hot couple in MAGA. Charlie and Erica Trump. But nobody remembers him. Fuck did that guy do anyways? Oh, he was just racist. Oh, that's it. Charlie Kirk bullet analysis finds no conclusive link to rifle found near scene. Tyler Robinson's defense team may try to use analysis to clear him of blame. Oh my God, The Guardian has a splash of an article today. All you Charlie Kirk fans, that don't exist. Nobody liked him. Nobody liked him, you know what I mean? And the president thought, that's a good sacrifice. We could capitalize on that. We'd throw a monster truck rally after. What's up, Dylan Loves Posh? Good to see you. No, it's Trumpica Kirk. Thank you. Thank you for correcting me, Jake Elephant Samuel. I love that you put your full name, Jake Elephant Samuel. Very proper of you. Sorry, it was Trumpica Kirk, and Charlie Clan. They got married. They would go and get their nails did and do banana colonics, legs up in the air. Like they would bring in the birthing table with the stirrups, and they would go, "Give us the banana colonic." Uh, Rich people do crazy shit. Uh, but this article is pretty fascinating. The Guardian saying that the analysis from the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives could not conclusively connect a bullet fragment recovered during Kirk's auto auto psyop. Just kidding, autopsy, but it is a psyop. To the thing found near the scene of the right-wing political activists murking. Um, So it looks like Tyler Robinson maybe didn't do it. But if you follow the conspiracy stuff online, there was a fire in Tennessee of a building that made these little uh, what are the clip-on mics that made those as explosives. And there was a receipt from the government that wanted to buy one clip-on mic. And they probably gave it to Charlie Kirk. That sounds very feasible because, we're not seeing this thing, whatever this is, honoring Charlie or talking about him, really. They don't really say anything about him anymore. Nothing. Not a peep. In his honor. In his honor, we'll stay quiet, I think they were saying. So it just lends a little more when the bullet doesn't match to the conspiracy theory that maybe this was. Maybe Epstein wasn't the first that Donald Trump had disappeared, you know? You know? ADHD squirrel. Billionaires make their own nonprofits and donate to themselves. Yeah. A howlogram. Beavis and Butehead. She looks like a Ghostbuster boss ghost. Oh my god, that is so... that is so true. That does. Oh my god. Billionaires borrow money tax-free against their stock holdings and against their whole life insurance policies. They treat the insurance like a personal bank so they can get non-taxable income. Correct. Yeah. That's why Jeff Bezos, I think, takes a $82,000 salary so he can stay in that lower tax bracket. This is how he avoids taxes. And then he just takes everything off loan off the worth of the valuation of his stock. And that way, when you hear the little dum-dums say like, none of their money is liquid. They don't have any cash. It's like, oh no. They're totally broke, man. Totally broke. Their worth is just imaginary. Why do you worship them so much? Why do you come in here and go, you're just jealous they're rich? They're apparently not. They're just debt rich, as we call it, billionaire rich. They're just lending against nothingness, right? Oh, the stock market is all made up. It's all made up. Um, oh, and then I know the big story about Cash App Patel. Where is the Cash App Patel? Hold on. Oh yeah, Joe Rogan also blasted the president. He didn't I hate that the Daily Mail is like, oh, Joe Rogan blasted the president. No, he didn't. Joe Rogan like kindly and timidly was like, I don't like that he said no mores and now he's doing wars. Um, but Joe Rogan, the politically homeless Joe Rogan seen here at Donald Trump's inauguration. Um, does he not know how to do a tie? Maybe Joe doesn't know how to do a tie. Looks like he just wrapped it around itself a bunch of times. But this is the politically homeless Joe Rogan at Donald Trump's inauguration again. The hilarity of it. Oh yeah, and this is what I was going to bring up. Joe, I know you're advocating for Ibogaine, but I would just look into the benefits of psilocybin, which is being studied here in America, which has been proven to help people with alcohol use disorder, depression, PTSD, help veterans. And psilocybin is great because you can just get spores and grow it on your own. You don't have to go through some alpha boy corporate master, Joe Rogan. So I don't know. Who is this benefiting? Who is this benefiting, Joe? Just look, this is on the NIH website. This is like official shit. You don't need to believe me, even though I could have told you in the 90s that magic mushrooms were magic. that they can help you with depression, that they can get you out of a funk, that they can, help people with alcohol abuse syndrome, which leads us into a next great story. Cash App Patel apparently needs some Ibogaine. Cash App Patel, that's his full name, Cash App. Okay, don't call him Cash, you don't know him. Cash App Patel apparently has got a little glug glug problem. I would submit to the evidence, him at the Olympics chugging beers as the director of the FBI. Hmm. Okay. Uh, I would submit that. I would have put that photo in the Atlantic article. They didn't, but I would have. Uh, and here's the journalist, because Cash App, any rich person's whole thing is like, if you say something I don't like, I'm going to sue you. Remember, Donald Trump said, I'm going to sue Rupert Murdoch for $10 billion because Rupert Murdoch was like, he wrote Jeff Epstein a birthday card. And people were like, no, he didn't. He's never doodled in his life. And Donald Trump was like, yeah, I've never doodled. I haven't even written my name ever. And then they released the birthday card, and it was exactly Trump's name. And then I know it was smaller news, but that lawsuit got dismissed. Donald Trump couldn't sue for. Oh, what's up, Draco Rose? Thank you for joining the Vanguard. Appreciate you. Draco's Rose, solidarity, comrade. I'm supported by viewers like you. Because YouTube and the media and Joe Rogan does not want this information out. They do not want me pointing out the hypocrisy of this, the political theater they're doing to try to win back their audience so they can just have more money and feel more important. But Donald Trump sued the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch for 10 million. That case dismissed. Cash App Patel suing for hundreds of millions of dollars because they said, hey, you know that drunk FBI director that went to the Olympics and got smashed, hammered? He's a drunk. And he was like, not a word of that is true. I'm suing you. So this is their move. This is what rich people do when they go, he can't fight this in court. He's going to have to submit. But the journalist and the Atlantic, if you haven't read the article, it's a pretty good one. It basically just details a fucking fully fledged alcoholic on the job and all the people that have to tolerate it because he's the boss. That's all it does. We all saw it in real time. We have the internet. We can see what Cash App Patel does. We can watch his buffoonery in real time. So I'm guessing behind closed doors, he just smells like bourbon. There's no difference. It's not like he's fucking not a mess in front of the public. But I like the journalist just standing her ground because this is what you need to do with bullies and people who think they can sue you to shut you up while they're also lauding themselves as free speech absolutists.
I give you an opportunity to respond to this reaction to your piece because Patel's advisor, Erica Knight, called your piece fabricated stories. She said that every serious DC reporter passed on. Sarah Fitzpatrick and Jeffrey Goldberg printed it anyway.
Oh, don't do it, internet.
Jeffrey Goldberg printed it anyway. Lawsuit is being filed. What do you say to that?
I say that I am a very careful, very diligent, award-winning investigative reporter with a hit.
Oh, real award winning. Do you even know that the president won the FIFA World Cup Peace Prize and then started war in Iran? But do you even you're not the only award winner here. Sorry, journalist. Our president has a FIFA first inaugural FIFA World Cup Peace Prize. I think that's what they're calling it.
History of award-winning work across multiple organizations. You and I, in fact, have worked together previously. I stand by every word of this reporting. We have excellent attorneys, and it is a surprise. It is a surprising statement, but a very telling statement, I believe. And I'd also note we reached out for comment to the White House and to the Justice Department, neither of which disputed anything. We gave multiple opportunities, including 19 detailed questions. So we stand by every word.
She should have been like, we reached out to the White House and we got a late night call at 3 a.m. from somebody slurring pretty hard. We got a drunk dial from Cash App saying, I'm coming for you, ma'am. Coming for you. You know why I'm Cash App Patel. Cash App. Remember that.
And this is telling because there are so many people, like you alluded to it earlier. These are not the types of people who are willing to speak out outside of the FBI, especially right now, because Cash Patel is going after people with polygraphs in a way that has never happened at the Bureau. And for it to be this level of alarm, this is people genuinely concerned that America is a danger as a result of this conduct. And I feel, a real responsibility to take care of that reporting incredibly carefully. And the Atlantic is nothing but diligent, and we have amazing lawyers and amazing editors, and I stand by every word.
One of the things in the Atlantic article, and again, thank you, Draco's Rose. Appreciate you for becoming a Vanguard member. Uh, in the article, that Cash App Patel is crying over because they're just detailing the stuff that we saw him do at the Olympics. One of the things was that Cash App, spends a lot of time in Vegas. That's where he made his new FBI West headquarters. I don't know. These people are fucking hilarious. They're all pampered brats. Um, but one of the things they detailed is they had to get like the SWAT team machinery because he was still sleeping behind a locked door and they didn't know if something happened to him. So they needed to bust down the door and it turns out he was just drunk. He was just passed out drunk. Like this is the fucking FBI head, you know. I mean Hoover was a racist piece of shit. Um Not Hoover, what's his name? What's that turd's name? Longest serving FBI serving FBI director. What's that guy's name? J. Edgar. Oh yeah, it is Hoover. It is Hoover. I was thinking of Herbert. I was thinking of Herbert. That piece of shit, Herbert Hoover. Fuck him. But no. J. Edgar Hoover. He was a racist monster. But there are not many stories. Well, there's him stories of dabbling in the rough, if you know what I mean. A little sugar in the tank, a little light in the loafers. There's some stories of that, but who cares? Protect the dolls, man. Not the racist ones though. So fuck Hoover again because he was clearly a racist garbage can. God should have made him in a garbage can, especially with that shape of a head. You don't get a shape of a head like that without being called the garbage can once or twice. Um, but you didn't hear stories of like Herbert Hoover going out to the 1916 White Sox fucking shoeless Joe Jackson White Sox, tearing his shirt off on the field, going around his head while he's popping champagne and chugging beers. You know, like you'd think the FBI would have a little more decorum. I mean, just that alone, just that video of the FBI director, fucking the head of the FBI at the Olympics with the ice hockey team. That is fodder for days in other countries. They're like, this is the guy running their Bureau of Investigation. Okay, time to infiltrate. Like if you don't think foreign countries are like, oh shit, he's doing that, like we're good, man. Meanwhile, during a war, nonetheless, like during a war, where you'd think to protect the homeland would be so important. He's out there like tearing his shirt off, swinging around his head. He's like, "We won the Olympics, man." It's like, dude, talk about fucking privilege. These people operate in a different fucking alternate time zone. Sad thing. What's up, Platinum Player? Sad things. Most people were ignorant enough to be misled. It's sad. A kindergartner has more common sense than a Trump supporter. 100%. 100%. Patel is the name for all Indians in a particular northern region in India. Oh, I don't know if that's true. I did not know that. It's like a family name. No, the Patels own a branch of hotels. Wait, the Patels own hotels? The Patels own hotels? That seems like you shouldn't be able to do that. Patels own hotels. Gujarati Patels, an Indian community, own or manage a massive share of the American hospitality industry. Wait, is that Cash App Patel's parents? The Patel Motel Story film? I don't want to see that. Known colloquially as the Patel Motel Cartel. The Patel Motel Cartel. Oh my God. This is not fucking real life. This can't be the actual Patels. Is that Cash App Patel? Cash App Patel family? No, they're not a single family name. No, 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 no. God damn. Is that Cash App Patel's family? God damn, AI is so fucking stupid. If you don't already know the answer, you're like, oh. Including Cash App Patel. It's not a single family. It's roughly 22,000 different Patel families run these businesses. Holy Jesus. It is a cartel. It is the Patel Motel cartel. My Christ. Thank you for that information. And we all learned something today. The Patel cartel, the Patel Motel cartel. Just hit 100. Good on you all. Hit 100 on what? I gave you your 100th like. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I can't see the things because I have this lady up. So thank you guys. Thank you, Trend Gill, for the 100th like. There are 2 Dr. Patels at our hospital. It appears Cash App is a motel kid. Yeah, you can't even call when people were trying to be racist. Remember when MAGA was like super racist and then they just kind of softened the blow and they were calling them like slumdog and stuff? You can't do that anymore. You got to call them slum motel, motel slum, or whatever. I don't know. Is MAGA? Yeah, they're still racist. They're still pretty racist. They're still pretty racist, guys. Ooh, fires in Argentina. Haven't heard. I haven't heard. Sorry, I'm working 6 days a week right now. Uh, so I'm catching up on all the news. That's why we covered Joe Rogan today. I know he was a big yesterday story, but um I'm just trying to survive in America, so you have to work fucking 6 days a week. It's a nightmare. This is a nightmare. This is not ideal. Let me just reiterate so we can normalize this for people because all you hear on the TV and from politicians is just work more, just work harder, and then you'll be good. And it's like, dude, we've been hearing that for 30 years, and everything's become so fucking unaffordable. Shit is now like out of reach, and that's including gas prices. Like, you can't even afford to go to work. South Korea is fucking limiting people from driving to 4 days a week. I mean, and this is coming for us soon. But I didn't hear about the Argentina fires. Did if oh they're forest fires? Oh, you get me excited. I was thinking they were warehouse fires. I was thinking, well, we got some more heroes across the globe. Heroes really don't wear capes these days. They carry Zippos. Um, and anybody who disagrees with that, just know that at the same fucking time that these warehouse fires that hurt nobody, hurt billionaires overheads. Amazon was making employees stand around a person dying at Amazon. Amazon, who has enough money to fucking purchase America. Uh, and a coworker died, and the managers were instructed, top down, from Andy Jassy and Jeff Bezos, and their robot overlords, instructed to not administer CPR and just let their coworker die. So while the corporate oligarchs are telling you what they value, not your life, and the workers are saying just pay us enough to live, and they're telling you we don't value you, that's why we don't pay you enough to live, and when you die on our shop floor we say nobody tried to resuscitate him. Nobody. That was an order. If you think that what's happening in America isn't the appropriate fucking reaction, you're part of the problem. Okay. Normalize not working to death. Normalize not dying at your job. Normalize being paid enough to live and go on multiple vacations a year. Normalize having fucking healthcare that is just accessible. You know, do you think, let me ask anybody, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing? Do you think it's a decent thing or a horrific thing that Americans can't afford uh, to get the healthcare they need? And you can just answer on your own because I already know the fucking answer. There's only one right one. Everybody else that fucking thinks that people should be gatekept from their healthcare are going to hell. Whether you believe it or not, you will be resting in hell. And you have to ride around on bananas Everywhere you go on a banana, there's no seat on a banana. You have to ride around on the tall way. You thought it was the horizontal way, and you're like, that's fine, but no, it's a tall way. And you're riding the banana to the pickle patch where you do deep knee bends for half the day, and then at night you just ride the banana endlessly to another pickle patch. Okay? Understand me? All right, the fires in Patagonia. Isn't that a store at the mall? Pretty sure I've seen a rich person wear one of those vests. Patagonia forest fueling criticism of Malay's austerity. Yeah, because there was no austerity for Malay. That's why we had to send him 40 trillion gazillion billion dollars, because this is all a grift. Large areas of Los Alerces, I don't know how to pronounce it, a UNESCO World Heritage Site home to 2,600-year-old trees, are now ablaze. God damn. Do they know what started the fire? Oh, worst drought. Massachusetts went through that. We had forest fires here, which is like not a thing in Massachusetts, but we had such a bad drought a few summers ago. You could see fucking helicopters rushing from the ocean to put out these forest fires. That is horrific, man. I don't. Here's the thing: when I see stories like this, um, quit your job, suffer, and it's free, or pay for it and suffer in poverty. Either way leads to poverty. Yeah, it's the capitalist trap. Um, I'm in a food desert type of area. Not even being racist. Well, it sounds a little racist. But deserts are a very American thing because we have too much food, so much that we throw away all the time, and people have to live in food deserts where they don't have access to just groceries. This is fucking crazy. I don't know how anybody can hear this shit day to day and be like, oh no, the people who are radical are the ones who want people to be able to have food and a home. And then those same people are like, and I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. I'm telling you, the radical left is destroying America by wanting people to not go hungry and have a place to live. It's like how you can hear that and not be like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure he's a fucking psychopath. Um, Nurse Rod, it sounds very racist. We're just gonna say it sounds very racist. But maybe they don't know. So everybody go easy. Sometimes, they don't listen. Here's the thing we got to understand about people. The internet has kept us divided and kept everybody kind of alone. And then the capitalist system makes you work 88 hours a week and not have any time off. So we don't really get to develop friendships, and we don't get to build communities anymore. So sometimes, and thank you, mods, let people talk, because they say these things to people they know, and people they know aren't really going to confront them on it. But here we do a little thing of tough love, and we just point out these things. But it's okay. There's time to change. You're not Joe Rogan's age. You're not a hopeless Joe Rogan who's an old dog getting tricked by the same president who tricked him once. What is that? Fool me once and you're the fool, and fool me twice, and I'll just tell my audience I can't believe it. There's some saying about fools. Joe's probably never heard it. That's why he implicitly just trusted Donald Trump, flew to the White House, and was like, hey man, you know how I've been kind of upset a little bit, and all my friends are upset because we voted for this guy who totally lied to us? Well, now I believe him. But whenever I hear about these Argentina forest fires, uh what kills me is, like, because you don't have to reach the people who believe in the climate changing. And if you don't believe it is, just go watch the new Henry David Thoreau documentary on PBS and see that Henry David Thoreau is taking climate calculations and fucking dating the weather in the 1850s. So we have 1850s ability to track the weather changing, right? In his journals. But anyways, that gets me off on a different tangent. Uh, the people that don't believe in it, or just don't care, or don't prioritize it, are the same people who are like driving an F-2150, love to go camping and be out in the wilderness and chop wood like a man. Um, and I always want to go to them like, if you're wrong about this whole climate thing and you think who gives a shit, even though we have the technology to do solar, EVs, all that stuff, if you're wrong, you lose the places you claim to love to go. You know, you lose your hunting grounds. You lose those animals you like to show off how big and bad you are by using a, you know, high caliber weapon against them. Uh, you lose all that, you know, but if you're right, then nothing changes. But isn't that too big a gamble? Like if you're wrong and I don't know, you can just look around and the earth is kind of on fire everywhere. Uh, Crazy weather, not normal, unprecedented things, huge earthquake. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I would just trust the scientists and also, you know, my eyes, but always resort to in college, I learned climate change in a very odd way. That if you don't believe the climate changes, get into an elevator with somebody who's just farted. Okay. If you don't think any of this man-made stuff could affect a enclosed atmosphere, get into an elevator with Donald Trump after he shit his pants, which is that's not what I'm saying. That's what the news reports. Um, and tell me that the climate in that elevator doesn't change, that people don't start to get red, that the air doesn't get hotter, that it smells worse, that it gets very claustrophobic in there. Tell me that when you get into an elevator, the climate doesn't change after the president poops his pants in that elevator. Just tell me, you know, because that was my little science experiment way back in college before climate change was like as big on the radar as it is now. And I went, oh yeah, man, I've been in an elevator, and my buddy Dave, he would wait till it was packed and get in and fart, and that elevator went from like everybody just in there to everybody freaking hot and sweating and choking, and that was a man-made climate change in an elevator. You know, this doesn't take brainiacs to figure out that when you're in an enclosed atmosphere and you're making all this stuff and getting rid of all the trees which help us breathe, um, I don't know, shit might change a little. But it's just funny to me that the MAGAs, the hardcore fucking camo wearing, you know, weapon toting, I love hunting, I drive a big truck so I can go four wheeling. People don't want to cherish like they're just abusers all the way around. You know, they're just the worst kind of people. Because if you can't go into nature and realize how sacred it is and want to continue to go, or at least have your kids continue to go, and you just turn around, you're like, nah, I want to drive a V8, and I don't want it to be one of them electric Ford Mustang ones. I want to just drive, and I want to smell gasoline in the morning, like, and you go fucking camping or hunting, like you're the worst kind of person. You don't even see it. The rich are parasites. Yes. Spraying aluminum in the skies doesn't help. Hey, what's up, Gma? Foods do bring people together. That's why Anthony Bourdain's show was so amazing. Elevator analogy is great. Thank you, Joe M. or Jome. But listen, man, that was 20 something years ago. But I always thought, like, how could you get into an elevator? I was unfortunate where we had class together, and every day we had to take this fucking elevator down. And it was the only elevator in the building. It was an old building, so everyone had to take it. And I would always be like, Dave, let's just wait for the next one. And Dave would be like, get in. I'd be like, I know what you're gonna do, because he would hold his fart in the whole class, and he would just smile at me and let it go, and I'd be like, oh Jesus Christ. And that elevator for the 3 floors or whatever we went down just became the most disgusting, swampiest, creature ridden elevator. People and college kids just turned into, you know, monsters in there. You were suffocating, snoring, and trying to breathe through clothing, and it got hot and damp. And I was like, you know what? Climate change is real, man. That's what I took from that. A kid farting, my college friend farting in an elevator made me understand beyond any scientist could, you know? And I think that's what we should do with Joe Rogan and Donald Trump. We should get them in an elevator with somebody who farts and be like, so climate change isn't real, huh? All right, boys, saddle up. You know, it should be with some big kind of beef eater, some fucking beat like this guy. You know, we should get Warren Buffett into an elevator because you know, man, if he's eating Diet Cokes and McDonald's all day, oh, you could just get him in there too, and maybe even him with all that elk meat. you get them 3 fucking Lord Farquads in there and just let them start, tell them it's going to be a long trip up to the top, boys. And once the first one sneaks one out, they're all going to start. Oh, that would convince them, though. I'm pretty sure that would convince them. Premeditated. Dave was a hilariously sick man on that, and it was always premeditated. It was. And it was the one class a week we had together. And you could always count on Dave to fart in the elevator. And it was like mostly girls too. Like it was just he's so unabashed, but he thought it was it was very elementary, my dear Watson. Because he thought that was hilarious. And I was always like, oh, this is so embarrassing that we're friends, man. But it taught me a very wise science lesson. Okay. Fucking Dave. I would give anything to find Dave right now. He looks exactly like I've told you about Dave before. What's the dude who played Shaggy in Scooby Doo? In Hackers, he was Aggie. IRL Scooby movie actor. What the fuck is his name? Matthew Lillard. He looks exactly like Matthew Lillard. Just so you know who I'm talking about. My buddy Dave, to a T. In fact, the first time I met him, I thought it was a little bit younger Matthew Lillard. I was like, oh shit, Matthew Lillard's coming to our school. And then no, it was Dave. It was Dave. Thank you, Frankenberry, Matthew Lillard. I always forget his name. They look like people. Good to see him. Dave is a sadist, but he was really the sweetest, most emotional guy. He's the one who taught me about Me First and the Gimme Gimmies. Is that their name? Me First and the Gimme Gimmies. Yeah, Me First and the Gimme Gimmies. Never forget that. Dave loved Me First and the Gimme Gimmies. Holy shit. What else did Dave taught me about? A lot of music. I don't even think I've listened to Me First and the Gimme Gimmies since then. I couldn't tell you if they're good or not. I just know when we would take his little Mirthmobile out and about, it was always, well, I think we only had a tape player in there, so maybe that's why. But the Gimme Gimmes absolutely rock. Okay, cool. Oh, Dave was that guy. Oh, Dave was that guy. That's cool. Other people know about Dave COP'd you and you didn't even know it. Any pics of Epstein on that table to Trump's right should be. Oh my God, how funny would that be? Hold on, let me see if we can get a zoom out. No, we can't see the photos in that one. Hold on, let me see if I can get another zoom out of Trump. No, not that one. No, they're all blocking the Epstein photos. I think you could see back there. There's probably one at Melania and Epstein. There's one of his sweet love, Erica Clan. Hold on, what else did memes? We didn't even do any meme news. My apologies, folks. My apologies. Oh, I love this. I saved this because look, made in China, make America great. This is the Lord Farquaadry of MAGA. So fucking funny. Oh, oh, talk about screwing the American people. Trump's economic policies failed to create jobs, cost taxpayers billions, and now $166 billion will be refunded to corporations without any duty to repay us. The transfer of wealth between the elites in this country is staggering. I wouldn't even say staggering. I would just say it's so blatant and in your face now, they don't even give a fuck. Like that's the one thing Donald Trump really did. He didn't create the system, but he system maxed it. He wealth transfer maxed it, and he does it out in the open. Where him and Howard Nutlick knew the tariffs would get knocked down. Howard bet against him. He put shorts on it, made $1 trillion, and probably in a backroom deal, Donald Trump was like, "Don't worry, you'll get all that tariff money back. But the good thing is you double dipped. You already charged the consumer for the tariff money. You get to steal their money under the guise of tariff costs, and then we'll refund you guys the money, so you get double the money, and you don't have to do any work. This is how they rob us." And they're doing it like this is play. This is in the fucking news today. 420. If you celebrate, hallelujah. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah. I don't think I could play all that song, but I've been playing it all live stream. So if you could hit subscribe and the notification bell, share this with friends if you had some fun or if you learned anything. If you learned climate change is real because my friend Dave used to fart in the elevator and the climate in the elevator's changed, then share this with a friend. So yeah, this is just blatant, in your face, cynical robbery or circular robbery. It's a big circle and we're not in it. People who are still in denial confuse me. What's up, Mountain Man? You're Swedish, you have the only right. Swedes travel freely. World is yours because they were lawyers to their own God, just like they are now. They make a prayer for the sins they will commit instead of asking for forgiveness when they let God down. Interesting comment. What's happening, Captain? Well, no, that's when I say goodbye. I was going to say toodaloo, kangaroo, but I don't have any clever rhyme scheme to retort, to riddle that question with. My apologies. I'll come up with one. I work for a Swedish company, Saab. Can you recap the bad thing about studying psilocybin? No, there's no bad. There is no bad. If you study psilocybin, sit here. Hold on. Oh, and by the way, Iran being more uh human than human, like the great Rob Zombie once said when he was in White Zombie. Uh the 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 families for the kids in that thing wrote a letter of gratitude to the Pope. Uh that's kind of wild. But no, there is no bad thing in studying psilocybin. None whatsoever. In fact, only good can come from it because these things were no, not the Ibogaine. Sorry, where is it? Here it is. I've been an advocate for psilocybin and cannabis since the 90s. I understand that it can help with so many different things. But people will go, "Oh, what do you former junkie? What do you know?" And I'll go, "Well, I don't know. I would call myself a fucking professional." How come people when they're like, "How many businesses have you owned? You don't get to talk about business." I say the same thing. Like, how many drugs have you done? You don't get to talk about drugs, but we see these non-drug users talking about drugs all the fucking time, and it seems like they're uninformed fucking dolts. And when me and many of my friends have been basically the fucking NBA of drug use, want to chime in on it. They're like, "Well, I don't know. What do the professionals say?" And I go, "Who's a professional?" And they go, "Doctors." And I go, "Well, how many drugs has the doctor done? You know, are you talking about Dr. Gonzo? Dr. Hunter S. Thompson? Like, these people don't know their ass from their elbow, man. I wouldn't trust them. You study it in a lab. You made mice take it. Like, come on, dude. You got to be doing that shit and watching National Geographic all night. You know, that's where you really get some inner fucking peace." But anyways, so I've been an advocate for this stuff, and now science is starting to catch up because the government is relaxing their grip on science being able to study the effects of these treatments on people with PTSD and all this stuff. And again, if you don't know, like Joe Rogan said when he was being a very good boy for his master, Donald Trump, and his handlers, and the people probably threatening his life, I'm guessing. That's how he looked. That's what his face was telling me. Um, uh, the Controlled Substance Act, Nixon wanted to criminalize anybody who dissented against him, uh, and outlawed all this stuff. That's why I talk about all the time. Cannabis is a Schedule One federally recognized drug. That means no medical usage, and it's highly addictive. It's a Schedule One cannabis, weed on 420. Um, Yet, if you Google, does the government have a patent on cannabis? You can look up in 2003, the American government got a patent on that same cannabis that they have a Schedule One drug, meaning no medical usage and highly addictive. And they have a patent for its medical usage. So I don't know what to tell you besides not only they hypocrites, but there's a lot of people in prison um, because the government just lied. No other reason. If you've ever gone to jail for cannabis or know somebody that has gone to jail for cannabis, they only did that to fucking oppress you. That's it, because they have a patent. You can look it up. 2003 government patent on cannabis for its medical properties. Why is it a Schedule One drug? Why didn't Joe Rogan text the president like, "Hey, man, you guys got a patent on cannabis. Maybe we should legalize it." No, Joe Rogan went right to Ibogaine, which is probably very gate kept by his wealthy friends. Um, so I think what Joe Rogan should have done, I don't think there's anything bad in psilocybin or cannabis, especially when you're researching it and you're finding out that holy shit, it can help with alcohol use disorder. If you can read, you can read that. Um, and it can help with anxiety. What was the other one? Sorry. Anxiety, existential distress. Who's not having that in America right now? Depression. I mean, these things can help if you, and you can do further research. Look up magic mushrooms helping veterans with PTSD. There's documentaries online about it. There's many living testimonies about it. So it's just weird to me that Joe Rogan, very out of touch rich boy Joe Rogan, is on TV bragging about a promise from a guy who he just complained about last week lied to him. Uh, and doing it all for a drug that most of us didn't hear of until this press conference. Ibogaine was not like, oh, you hear about the new street drug, Ibogaine? Why? Because it's a fucking African tropical plant that is not easily accessible. This isn't coming over the border in fucking caravans. I'm sorry. This is some fucking, and if you don't know, and this is the other reason that pisses me off, you can just look up what's the average cost of treatment for Ibogaine. This miracle cure that Joe said with one tablet, 80% of people are cured. With two, 90%. And I said, keep going, Joe. With three, 100%. With four, 110%. You haven't even touched stuff before and you're already cured. Like this is the snake oil salesman. I'm sorry. Joe, what are you saying? Donald Trump is going to fund the research into what it can do, and you're already promising what it can do? Oh, interesting. Interesting how that works. You've already got the conclusion before any of the research was done. Amazing, Joe. But anyways, sorry, I just don't believe liars ever. If he brought a shaman up there from fucking Africa, and the shaman was like, "Oh no, we've cured many of you white boy that have the sackler opioid disease. We've cured many of you, man." Then I'd be like, "All right, I trust that fucking dude." But Joe Rogan, who has a horrible sense of politicians and who's been complaining about, the no war president lied to him and does the war. I don't know. I just don't believe him much. But I think it's all, you know, a sham to hold addiction over your head and say, "Oh, you want to be healed? You want the Joe Rogan Alpha Ibogaine? Shell out 50 grand." That's why Joe and all his friends advocated for this one. That's why Joe said, "Free at last, free at last, free at last." Where's Joe saying free at last? This is the funniest shit ever.
Terrible conditions. We're free of that now. We're free of that now.
We're free at last, free at last, free at last. And I just like to point out that Joe, Joe, in your state of Texas, you're not even free to have cannabis. On 420, you can't even legally as an adult have cannabis unless you have a doctor's fucking note. Are you really free at last now that you can do research into Ibogaine? Like this is a mission accomplished Bush all over it. We're free at last, free at last, free at last.
Under those terrible conditions, we're free of that now. We're free of that now.
Free at last, Joe. Free the terrible conditions of cannabis, psilocybin, all these illegal drugs. We're free of that now. Why, Joe? Because me and my buddies are going to be able to do Ibogaine in 10 years. Does anybody remember when Bush came out and had the big mission accomplished banner and he was like, "Man, we're done." This is Joe Rogan's mission accomplished moment. Guys, the drug war is officially over. We are free at last, free at last, free at last. We've gotten Ibogaine. We've got a loose promise via text from a president who I've been complaining about as a liar, to promise to get FDA research into it, not legalize it, just FDA research. Free at last. Hallelujah. Free at last. Smoke weed every day. You should subscribe too. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Hit all the buttons, man. They really do hold addictions over your head. If they healed the addicts, then how should they keep making money? 100%. 100%. And that's what I really feel like. Because when Joe Rogan's claiming we're free at last, free at last, free at last, swing low, sweet chariot. When Joe Rogan's doing this whole like we're fucking free of the drug war, man. And you're like, oh, did they federally legalize cannabis? Did they legalize magic mushrooms? And Joe's like, no, Ibogaine. And you're like, what the fuck is that? Is that some pharmaceutical? He's like, no, man, finally, we're going to have FDA approval to research Ibogaine. The drug war is over. I'm pretty sure there's a dude that's getting pulled over for the smell of marijuana in his car in Austin, Texas. Like, fuck, Joe. Fuck, man. You said free at last, and I thought we were good. And now I'm going to jail because of a fucking flower. Oh my God. It's a small distraction. 100%. This is political theater where um, where they try to present something as like we're free at last, free at last, free at last, and some heinous shit is going on behind this. We just don't know. Like aliens and Epstein. Aliens would be the best thing. They can't even come out with like, hey, aliens are real right now. Like they can't even do that because most of America would be like, oh fuck, I hope it's like Mars attacks. I hope it's like Mars attacks, because we would be rooting for the aliens. We'd be like, come on, aliens, please. So they're like, X-nay on the alien stuff, guys. No, 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 no. Our polling numbers are horrible. At this point, they're cheering for the aliens. You know? He has a man bun. Just want to see it. Ooh, Tim, stop flirting with me. We know, man. We know. We say protect the dolls here, Tim. So we know that when you go to your Tim above ground, they're like, hey, man, you got to drink Budweiser, drive a no gay stuff here. You got to say no homo after you slap each other rear in the sauna. So Tim comes to here because we cherish all humans and we believe the land of the free means you're free to express yourself how you want. So Tim comes for that sense of community which we've curated here, and that's okay. We support you. Tag, you're it for Tim's harassment. It's okay, Tim. That's why you don't put your face on your avatar. That's why you got to stay hidden because you got to go over to those MAGA things and be like, yeah, those dumb liberals and the leftists, they want to like feed everybody, make sure people have homes and health care. This is radical. Anyways, guys, I got to get back to my 120 hours working a week so I can afford this gas to go to work. And they're like, that's real, man. Making money from Mr. Bezos. Buy your alpha pills. I'm glad you didn't slam me for mentioning Ibogaine months ago. Listen, I'm not against Ibogaine. What I'm against is these fucking troglodyte grifters. Remember, we all got to remember the context we're working here with, people. Um, in case everybody's new, this is a liar. This is a liar. This is a liar with raccoon penises in his pocket. This is probably a liar. That's probably a liar. That's probably a liar. I don't know them that well, but what I can say is I've watched these guys get caught in lies. And once you do that, and you do that many times, I go, oh, I don't trust anything you say. Go ahead, keep talking with your big boy voice. But I don't trust these people. So I'm not against any kind of psychedelic drug that can help people. What I'm against is their intentions. If you think this whole setup on whatever fucking day it happened, I don't know when it happened. I just know it happened. If you think this was to benefit addicts, you're fucking insane. Okay? Like if you think this dude and this dude who have gutted every kind of social service, fucking access to addiction recovery, the fucking hotline to call if you feel like you're gonna end yourself. Like these people have gutted everything. I was just playing his audio last week of him absolutely ravaging fucking any kind of services to humanity. If you think they're gonna stand up here and now be like, oh, we really care about addicts, I'll even take it one further back. And never mind before they did shit. Does anybody know MAGA's take on homeless addicts? Does anybody know MAGA's take on homeless addicts. You know, people that you see in the street who have such bad addictions that like they're just living in the street. Is anybody aware of like what Ben Shapiro and Tim Pool and Donald Trump were saying about homeless people that were addicts? This is why I'm like, I don't believe any of this shit. If you think that this is like, oh, guys, they should have started this by saying we've had a change of heart. You might know MAGA is the people who are like, get these fucking homeless people in jail so our private profit prisons can make a lot of money. We've changed. We've done an about face. I know that you might think we're not very humanist and we have no compassion, and that we went on this guy's podcast and say compassion is fucking the downfall of Western civilization. But now we're very compassionate people, and now we really care about the addicts, and now we really want to make sure people know that we're researching a drug that will probably be gate kept by Alpha Brain and all his fucking corporate buddies, because this is in Africa, and again, it's not easily accessible and it's very expensive when you do have it. But now we really care about the addicts. Like, if you're believing this is why it's so funny that Joe Rogan, who I just played for you audio of last week, the week before, Joe Rogan's been saying like, I'm kind of mad because he said no war to right to my face. He lied right to my face. And I'm like, oh, Joe, you're adorable. You mean the guy who broke his oath 3 times to cheat on his wives with kids, and fucking Melania he cheated on with Stormy Daniels and then got caught nationally and still denied it? You're saying that guy lied to you? Joe Rogan? No way. Like, if all of that didn't make sense to you, right? And we'll just take it on its fucking face. Um, how the fuck does this help anybody right now? You know, where you're creating more addicts and hopelessness. If you don't know, usually addicts fucking outside of it being a disease, but usually people turn to drugs in times like this because they feel hopelessness. Okay. That's a fucking driving thing. And what can create hopelessness is feeling like you're working to not even be able to afford food or survive, and that there is no hope in the future. So it's just amazing to me that like this is the road we're going right now. This is the road. You know, well, in the news, they're like, hey, all that money you spent on tariffs, don't worry, it's going right back to those corporations that overcharged you anyways. You know, like the people need money, not fucking a promise of an FDA approval of a psychoactive drug that they won't be able to afford for a depression and addiction that they have right now. Like, the best thing you could do is, I don't know, open more rehab facilities, let everybody out of prison that was in there for fucking cannabis, legalize cannabis, legalize fucking magic mushrooms, fund the studies of shit that is easily accessible and already being studied right now. Give fucking, you know, the people fucking the money that they need from those tariffs that they fucking overpaid to corporations who have so much money and aren't paying back into the system. So I am fully for Ibogaine if it works. Um, but I just think this is political theater to fucking throw shit at the wall, like Steve Bannon, who pissed his pants on TV, said. That's all they're doing. They're trying to win over a few people who will be like, that seems legit. And the funniest fucking part is Joe Rogan standing there without a suit. He did say thank you. Um, but he thinks that Joe Rogan literally thinks this won the drug war. You know, where where you can still go to jail in Texas for weed. But Joe Rogan's like, don't worry, guys. Get on my back. We're winning this drug war. I'm getting FDA approval for it. By the way, FDA approval. He didn't descheduleize it. He didn't decriminalize it. Joe Rogan didn't be like, hey man, decriminalize this thing, you know? Because again, nobody has Ibogaine on them. Not seeing an illegal Ibogaine trade. Um, but it's so funny that Joe Rogan said free at last, free at last, free at last, because he's getting FDA approval, which again, if you think that FDA approval is coming, you're fucking hilarious. You're so fun. This is the funniest thing. People will really be like, oh, that's a great thing he's doing. And I'd say, wait till it's done. Just wait till it's already in action, you know, to say like he did it, you know, just like the no wars thing. Like, just wait until his service to the country and the people are done before you're like, he was a great no war president. I don't know, because this guy who lied about simple shit, from crowd sizes all the way up to serious stuff, till death do us part oaths in front of God. I would say I don't believe that guy one bit. But here's Joe Rogan touting how much last week he didn't trust him, and this week, the most trustable man on earth. So trustable. Joe Rogan, you're a fucking joke, man. I don't know who you're in trouble with. I don't know who you're scared of, Joe. But man, grow some balls, dude. They fucking got this dude on a short leash, I'll tell you that. You know, magically resetting your opioid tolerance is a very, very dangerous thing. Yeah, I mean, we could get into the nitty-gritty of that. That's a whole other talk. I just like to call it on its face. Like if you all of a sudden magically trust these, but the guy who said we won the war a month ago and then was like, "You crazy bastards, I'm gonna wipe out your civilization." If you're trusting that guy who's like can't keep a tweet fucking in line, um, I don't know. Maybe he got brainish, maybe he got brain damage. But yeah, when you get into like the seriousness of like, well, if you're just going after like they're physically not addicted, but you didn't take care of like the mental part of it, you're opening up a whole other again, this is why like community integration centers and rehabs and detoxes and those things and the professionals that work in them are so vital to be funded. And they're vital to not be gatekept and they're vital to helping people reintegrate into society because here in America, if you don't know, they throw addicts away. They treat addicts like if we treated cancer patients like this, fucking, I think people would wake up. But they take addicts and they throw them to the side, and that's why you saw. That's why I thought it was hilarious that like, oh, the MAGA people really care about the homeless addicts now. Okay, right, Joe Rogan. Okay, okay, you guys are really caring about the people with addictions. Okay, okay. I'm sure you do. I don't know, because wasn't your whole thing like we got to clean up the streets and get these homeless people out of our sight? I don't care if they're in prison or fucking die. Wasn't that like MAGA's whole thing? They were like, oh, gross. Homeless people that are on drugs, disgusting. And now they're like, we really care about those addicts. I live in Canada, so all the prescriptions were free, but then I finally weaned off it in 2011. I might have missed the tweet, but when I got to zero, I couldn't do it. But like I'll tell you guys when you talk about Suboxone and stuff like that. I told another friend of mine. I said you have to win the mental battle before you can even try. When you're That's the thing. Um, Addiction isn't just about the physical part of it. That can feel like it's ripping your soul out of your body. Um, and getting stuck on your bones and just trying to absolutely pry it out. But that's only half of the battle. The other half is the mental part of it, you know. Um, it truly is, and that's why community reintegration and stuff that helps you be able to tolerate the world we live in is so vital to the success of and I'm telling you this as somebody who's lost many, 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 many friends. Many friends and family. Um, so this is something I'm very familiar with and very intimate with. Um, and the hope is one of those things where I lost a friend specifically because of that, because he went, there's no hope. He had just had a second kid too, and was like, there is no hope for me. This society has outcast me. They do not care. There's no help. Um, and he's been gone for a long time, and that's horrific. So that's why I think this is fucking very dark humor, hilarious, because they don't give a fuck. They don't care if you're an addict. They don't care if you're homeless. If they did, we'd see housing programs, fucking our tax money coming to help people afford rent. We'd see rent stabilization. We'd see homeowner programs. We wouldn't see 80-year mortgages. You know, you want to help cure addiction before it even starts? Give people some fucking place in society. Don't starve them out of their fucking lives. Um, and that's just, again, from my firsthand experience. Yep. Some of these addictions are gnarly, man. And the thing is some of these people go, the road back is too hard and there's no help. And it's impossible. If you've ever tried to call and get a bed for somebody, it's damn near impossible. And then the amount of money you have to put up if it's not covered. I mean, it is really insane when you understand, and maybe that's where I did a bad job. I should have started with explaining my backstory, my personal fucking firsthand experience with this, and all the people that I've lost and now come to me in my dreams all the time, and I can't fucking sleep, even though I need sleep because I'm working too much. Um, and I should explain that before I got into why this is such a fucking joke. Because there are ways to really combat this outside of like the physical and mental aspects, but there are ways to cut it off before it even happens. And those are only partial solutions, but they do help when people feel like, well, I got a roof over my head, I got food, I don't have to worry about fucking, paying rent tomorrow. Like when those situations are solved, you fucking narrow the fucking gap to people thinking, well, fuck it. And that's just the truth, man. That is just the truth. That is first fucking hand experience. You can do it, smoking blondie. You could do it, but you have to win that mental war first. And that's what the key is, man. That's the hardest part is getting into a mind space where you can tolerate the rest of what's going on in the world, and not fall back. And that's where I've lost the most people. And it sucks because they were all young. If you want to know why the lifespan of America dropped down to 77 years old, which is one of the lowest in these first world nations, and our healthcare is more expensive, we pay more, but we die earlier. It's not because people died at 76 years old. It's because people dying at 30, 35, 40, and it's dragging that number down. That number doesn't average out because a lot of people died at 75. No, it's people dying much, much younger. Um, is the cravings afterwards. Yes. See, and that's what I mean. You have to be mentally prepared to endure that and have your a good community around you, I don't even want to say a safety net because America doesn't provide that, but a good buddy system. Hi, I never liked Joe Shit Gogan. Bigfoot, good to see you. When you don't make dopamine, the relapse rate is 90%. I don't know about that, but I would believe it. Sad thing is, I think Joe Rogan comes from a good place. I think he's stupid. I think he came from a good place a long time ago. At this point, he's compromised. Maybe there's threats upon him. Maybe he's not safe. You don't become a humiliation uh, dude. That's all he is. This is like a humiliation kink. Because I want you to just think about you in your real life. Would you be on the most popular mainstream podcast in America, being like, oh man, this guy lied to me. He said no more wars. That's why we're really mad with him. And then all his little friends, Andrew Schultz, Tim Dillon, are like, this is the biggest con ever. And it's like, you didn't see this coming. We were all saying it. Like, this dude lies out his ass. That's his thing. Even the people in the cult know, the maggot cult know he's a liar, but they're just like, well, we've changed positions. Now gas prices are higher, but not as high as Biden. Like they even know he's a liar and they just fucking acquiesce to it. But could you imagine trying to be a serious boy and being like, I fucked up. I picked the wrong politician. He fucking lied to me. I went against all my values because I thought I was going to cash in big time on it. And then going on the world stage and being like, guess what? He texted me back and he promises this time it's not like the war thing. This time he means it. Like what a fucking embarrassment. Do you have your testicles not dropped? Like do you have no fucking backbone? Like what is wrong with you? That's why I can only think he's compromised. He's got people like you remember the dude that guessed his pin code on his podcast. If you didn't see that, I didn't play that clip because it's stupid. But I think those are the people that are coming in and threatening him. They're like, "Hey, we know your pin code. Just in case you were wondering, we're not psychic. We're just tapped in. You know what I mean?" Joe Rogan's like, "Oh, should I change it?" And they were like, "It doesn't matter." You know, that's like a fucking subliminal threat because no one could come out. Like, look at his face. Look at his face. Does this look like a guy that just said free at last, and fucking won the drug war? No. This looks like a dude who's under duress. You know what I mean? And if you've even, what's the article I was showing you guys earlier? The Daily Mail did a whole article about how Trump is like desperate to get him back. And you know when Trump's desperate, Trump doesn't beg. Do you know Trump's MO? He's not out there saying pretty please. When Donald Trump wants something, he's like, I'll wipe out a civilization. I don't give a fuck. He's like, I'm leaving this planet soon, and I don't believe in nothing. So I will just threaten you all day long. So you're telling me the guy who threatens everyone now, like this kind article, they're like, oh, he was saying, pretty, pretty, please, Joe, please be our friend again. Like, you think that's how he operates? Okay. Again, all of this shit is fucking theater. I mean, look at his face. Even in this blurry picture, you could tell this is not like a happy man who just won the drug war and got his psychedelics for free or whatever. Trump sends his cronies to talk. Exactly. Exactly. That's what they don't send in fucking aides who are like, please, Joe, what can we do? You know? They're like, hey, Joe, we heard you talking with Theo Vaughn. There aren't any issues. You don't have any regrets for your vote, do you, Joe? Do you, Joe? We wouldn't want to see anything happen to the Joe Rogan program. Huh? You love doing them ice baths, don't you? It would be a shame if those ice baths were filled with poisoned toad water. It would just be a shame, Joe. You know, like he don't look enthralled to fucking be there. He looks like a hemorrhoid. That is Pink Fur, I love you. That is true. Joe does look distraught. And listen, this isn't just me saying it. Like, guys, where's I have more pictures of him. There he is. I mean, look at him. Look at the eyes. I know this is Photoshop, but they're just saying, look at the eyes. Like they're still taking the picture of Joe there. Go watch the video for yourself. And never mind the words they're saying, because again, Book of DMX. I'm very biblical. The Book of DMX, where he says, "Talk is cheap, motherfuckers." That's what I think every time these people open their mouth. I'm like, they can say anything they want because they live outside of the sphere of justice and morality. And when you live outside of the atmosphere where rules don't apply to you and you just get to do whatever the fuck you want because you have so much money, they don't care what they say. I displayed this with Joe Rogan a few weeks ago when I said he was bragging about his Alpha Boy pills, how he takes 6 of them when he talks to a scientist because it helps his memory and helps him form sentences. And then the next week he talked to fucking Theo Vaughn and lied about where he was when Charlie Kirk got murked. And then went on Twitter, which I showed you the tweet. He was like, I wouldn't lie about that. I just had a lapse in memory. And I'm like, is Joe Rogan saying his Alpha Boy pills don't work? That's funny. Because just last week, Joe was saying Alpha Boy pills make my brain smarter. I can remember everything now. And then coincidentally, he lied about something and said, no, I just had a relapse in memory. It's like these people just say whatever because they don't fucking care. They'll never come in contact with you. They live on these fucking ranches, Zorro ranches and shit. They're never gonna fly on a public airplane. They're never gonna take travel. They don't fucking drive without, their bodyguards everywhere. These people hate you, don't care, and aren't accountable to you, you know? But on top of that, like, look at that face. Go watch this video. Just watch his like when he's saying free at last, we're free at last. He looks like he's about to fucking cry. You'd think, listen, if we just won the drug war, if all of us drug patriots got to announce like, hey guys, we won the drug war, we'd be like tears of happy. We'd be laughing, crying, like we won. All the people would be coming out of jail for cannabis. And Joe Rogan looks like a very sad boy right here.
Those terrible conditions. We're free of that now. We're free.
Like you can see this man, something is going on.
Now, next to all these people.
And even when he touches this guy next to him, he's like, thanks to sorry. Like watch Joe's body language. He's compromised. I've always made the joke he's the propaganda arm of the US government, but no joke. Joe, are you safe? Blink twice. On your next podcast, I want you to blink twice into the camera, Joe, if you're not feeling safe. Okay. Naked mole rat. He's a little naked mole rat. Oh my God. That is so funny. I can't unsee it. I know, you can't. Same thing with I tell people, you can't unhear what I've said. You just can't unhear it. Happy 420. Yeah. Oh, I wish I had a good 420 song to play for you. But I don't. But I don't. All right, guys. That is it for me for today. And go celebrate 420 responsibly. Unless you're in Texas. I don't want anybody to go to jail. I still can't get over that. Joe Rogan's claiming free at last from the drug war, even though in his own state of Texas, having cannabis is a crime. Really, Joe? Did a lot of good, Joe. You didn't text the president about legalizing cannabis, but Ibogaine. FDA approval, free at last, free at last. Let me just play. This is what Joe Rogan says. He doesn't get can't he doesn't he has the president's number. He doesn't text and say, dude, just legalize fucking cannabis. He doesn't say that. In his own state, it's illegal. It is a crime to have fucking a flower. And Joe Rogan's saying free at last for Ibogaine.
Years we've lived under those terrible conditions. We're free of that now. We're free of that now.
Really? Are you free of that? Or if somebody in your state of Texas has cannabis on them in front of a cop, they're going to jail. Like, do you hear what I mean? Are you guys hearing this little mole rat, this naked mole rat, say we're free at last? Holy shit. Anyways. All right, Nurse Rod. He is free from being the #1 podcast now. Brian, Smoking Shy Pixie Frankenberry. Everybody. Michael. Parsy Paul. Shelve it. Itchy fingers. And if I forgot you, my apologies. Pink fur. I'm trying to see. Blop Jones. That's a funny name. I didn't catch that earlier. My apologies. Canada is better. I like pronouncing that name. B Robbie, sup, man? Hey, what's up? Blop Jones. Just have it in your blood and get pulled over is what happened to me. That's fucking insane. This makes me so angry. That's what I mean. Well, don't worry, Blop Jones. Joe Rogan now says you're free at last. The drug war is ended. Mission accomplished. We should have put a mission accomplished banner. Joe Rogan says we've won the drug war, folks, because he got FDA approval from the president for Ibogaine. He didn't get cannabis legalized, or the main fucking thing that America's been fighting for 30 years. Because why? Because he's like, I have so much money and I'm Joe Rogan. It doesn't fucking affect me. I had 77 ng/ml of THC and the limit is 50. Oh, that's fucking crazy. Did you tell Bob Jones? Did you go to court and said, pardon me, but I'm just a legal consenting adult in 24 out of the 50 states in America, so I'll go now? That's so fucking stupid. That's so fucking stupid. I'm so sorry that happened to you. See, there's real freedom fighters fighting, not this little naked mole rat. I've been a freedom fighter for decades now, fighting for your freedom to fucking just be high while you do shit because, I don't know, it's a goddamn flower and it doesn't hurt anybody. Meanwhile, they can sell you Budweiser ads all fucking day long, you know? Good God. Yeah, don't worry. Free at last. Ibogaine. Happy 420. Enjoy responsibly. Yes, 100%. Never fell for Joe Rogan. Christine's 7. Solidarity. Do not fall for it. It's a chilly 54, but sunny. Tornado hit my home county. Good God, man. Yeah, they don't care. I was on my backcountry road a mile away from home. That's obscene. That's obscene. That's such a waste of fucking taxpayer resources to go after. Like, we'll dive into that next time. Bradley says, God bless all the pedos out there. Oh, weird take, but okay. Okay, Bradley. That's a fascinating comment. We know nobody put your kids around him. Hopefully you don't run a babysitting thing. Okay, guys. Hug your kitty extra today. Oh, yeah. Rogan's treatment of Flint Dibble and the lies he told about him didn't do Rogan any favors, which he deserves. Rogan's silly love for ancient aliens nonsense is also another reason. Yeah, I didn't like how he was fucking double teaming Flint Dibble. Anybody that's got to bring in a friend to do that, these people are just a charade of a man. We, the people of America, stand with Iran and all the oppressed. America is, we have a revolutionary spirit, which is to say, fuck the oppressor. So, yes. Up to 2.5 years, because when they give you DUI, they also give you reckless endangerment. Oh, god damn, man. That's what I mean. Nobody should be going to jail for cannabis. Nobody. Nobody. And Joe Rogan claiming free at last from the drug war. Why? Oh, no, he didn't legalize cannabis. He got FDA approval, a promise. He got a loose promise from a big liar on FDA approval for him and his buddy's psychoactive drug. Okay, guys. That's it. Please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Join me again tomorrow. I don't know what day it is. Yeah, tomorrow. Is there a weekday? Every weekday, I'll be here hanging with you. We'll talk more. Much love, much respect. What's up, Alma? Good to see you. Stay cool, and please clip this, share it with your friend. Help me get around the new YouTube algorithm. They put AI in charge, so stuff's weird. Thank you for subbing, Christine's. Appreciate you guys. All right, much love. Peace.